Hello and welcome to Simple Session 2023. We're back at the Põhjala Factory in Tallinn, Estonia for Europe's premier action sports contest. It's qualification day and right now we are all about BMX. I'm James Threlfall and alongside me I've got Simple Session veteran Daryl now. Daryl, how does it feel to be back for another year, man?
James, it's an honor to be in the booth with you.
Yes, thank you.
With all of our riders here in Estonia, all of our fans, but especially everyone watching around the world.
100%. Thank you very much for tuning in today. It's a big one, right?
It really is. This is one of the premier events, not only in Eastern Europe, not only in Europe, but in the world of action sports. 23 years deep, every year it builds. It gets better and better. I don't know how that's possible, but the energy here, the excitement, this is a big deal for our riders. We have 54 of them in qualifying. They all want to be in the finals, and we're going to break our riders down to 14 jam groups. There's going to be 4 riders in each jam. Each rider is going to have 2 individual 1-minute runs. It's an overall impression, so both runs are going to count, and the top 15 will advance to finals. So James, you're going to hear us talking a lot, especially me, saying both runs count. It's important. You really got to impress the judges. We have 3 judges, Tom Sillins, Marcus Vilke, Bart de Jong. They're going to have to, look at these 3 handsome men right here. They are going to have to make sense of all of these runs, right? 54 riders, 2 runs apiece. If I could do the math, would have got 108. Did I do okay?
Quick maths, man. I like this. Quick maths.
Sharp as a tack right here. So you can see they're going to have to figure it out. Bart de Jong, lifelong BMXer, the Netherlands. He runs Fat BMX. It's an online website, all news and info. He also works with the UCI for the Olympics and BMX, which I'll talk about our 3 judges a little more as the competition goes. But we do have our first qualifiers. And again, I'm going to stress, if you're in the first heat or the last heat, you're still going to be one of the 15 who hopefully advance.
Yeah, 100%. Our first 4 riders in Jam 1 getting straight into it. Adrian Vonken out of Germany, Tom Weikert as well, Torno Krutz and Miska Suni doing it for Finland. Estonian rider in Torno straight in there as well. Repping the home country of Simple Session, man.
Yeah, that's such an important part. Even though this is a global destination event, the organizers, Risto and Mario Calamray, the 2 brothers who had this idea to make this competition, they always want to make sure that riders that are local have the chance to be represented. So this course was designed by Nate Wessel. You know him as one of the best builders in the world for the last 17 years, and he put so many little pockets and transfers and little rails and big transfers in here that the riders are going to have to really try to utilize. So 60 seconds has already started on our first run. You're going to work the clock. You see the unique originality going up on one of our foundation pillars. But you know what, James? We got 54 riders. We said 108 runs. You and I are kind of chilling today. We're going to have a good time. If you're watching anywhere around the world, we're on so many different platforms. Let us know in the comments who you're rooting for. And we're just going to kind of, crack open a cold one, hang out, watch the riding, kind of have a little fun with this thing.
For sure. We had someone in the chat earlier saying actually that qualifiers is their favorite part of Simple Session because it's just just get to kick back, man. You just got hours of great BMXing. So yeah, kick back with us if you want to get involved in the chat as well. Simple Session, hashtag Simple Session on Twitter or X, whichever you want to call it. And we'll, keep tabs on what you're saying. And if you want to hit us with anything, any questions for Daryl or anything like that, or simply shout out the rider you are backing. Maybe it's Adrian Vonken, who we just watched the first run of. Let us know, and we'll get you involved in the broadcast today. But yeah, first run down for Adrian Vonken. A couple of fools, couple of good tricks. It's always hard being the first guy out. We always talk about this. Daryl, have you had that experience being the first rider in a contest?
Yeah, there's actually a lot of pressure. You have so many nerves. You didn't really get a chance. You don't know what the expectations are, and our judges have to see, hey, where are these first riders going to kind of sit? Because even though that they're watching and giving a numeric value for that run, they have to kind of guesstimate where the other riders who we haven't seen on the course go. So it kind of sets the standard, and you figure out where we're at. So first rider down, and now we've got...
Yeah, Tom Weikert coming in out of Germany. Super promising up-and-comer in the German BMX scene.
Now, I want to stress this isn't, yes, ice pick across to 180. This isn't just a street competition out here. I know in the past we've had an overall. We've also broken it down, nice tail whip to a street and park segments. But this is an all-terrain course. The riders, Mario, Risto, Nate Wessel, they wanted to build something where we have all kind of disciplines being expressed. And what that essentially means is street, obviously you find street obstacles, handrails, ledges, drops. Park, you have more transition-based. And when you put them all together, you kind of got this mishmash of style where riders have an opportunity to kind of blend and let their own unique voice talk. Look at that, going for the double peg up to tail whip right there, not able to get his foot on.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, man. When I first walked into this park, I saw loads of ledges, loads of rails, and I was like, oh, it's really street. And then I got in and had a bit of a ride on it as well, and I was like, actually, do you know what? This is really all-terrain, you know? And you've been able to see some of the guys in practice that have been absolutely boosting this. Like, on the surface, you see those rails and you might think, yeah, street, but no, there's so much more. This is a fully all-terrain course. And so those riders, I think, that can blend the worlds of park and street are going to do really nicely here. Your Boyd Hilders, for example, who we're going to get to watch later on, and last year's winner.
Yeah, it's great you bring up Boyd. He is our defending champion. If you can keep that throttle pinned for the entire time, definitely can be work in your advantage. Right now we have an Estonian. You hear the volume getting pumped because he's a local. Tarno Krutz definitely has made a name for himself, not only here at our contest, but also we have these street jams all around Estonia. He's just a rider who has such a good time, and this is a perfect example of having a platform for our local riders to be able to shine on an international competition.
Yeah, Tarno also having won the 2019 and 2020 Road to Simple Session contests as well. Super Tech rider, so yeah, great to have him out. 30 seconds into his run right here.
Yeah, one thing to note, he actually got 17th place last year. Great combination, bar spin in, bar spin out. Got a little squirrely, but able to keep it rolling. So we got 17th, and just being on the outside looking in, that's only 2 places from finals. And sometimes the way that these points are at contests, you literally could be less than a point. So it could be so close, and that could determine. So hopefully he'll be able to make it in the final this year, and we'll have another Estonian step in and be in one of the 15.
Yeah, that would be great. That's time there for Tarno. And we talk as well, I mean, at the start, I think it's, like you say, super important that we really stress, like, a lot of contests are best run counts, and that's what the finals will be tomorrow, but qualifiers are overall impression. Both of the runs that you hit count. So what are you going to do? Are you going to mix up from one run to the next? Are you going to stick with a super consistent run and hope the judges like it? Like, there's quite a bit of mind games at work here.
Whoa, big transfer. I love that gap. Getting the wingspan out right there. This is Miska Suni on course from Finland, another big favorite here. He's built his name up. He's a 2023 Finnish champion, and getting the double tail whip 2 times on that transfer. But you know what? That is a great point you bring up. I had a chance to talk with Tom Sillins, our Latvian judge, and he said, hey, this is an overall impression. We do want to see variety because this course is really difficult to ride. Nothing necessarily sets itself up to link lines together because there's so much packed in here. A lot of the riders, especially some of the sister session riders I was talking with, it's like there's so much going on. Yes, big flare. That's the backflip with the 180. But they said, hey, there's so much going on. In a way, you almost have to like delete from your mind some of the options and choose your own obstacles. So if a rider can do 2 separate runs, even just the course, if you were to look from a bird's eye perspective down and draw a line on the course, if those are 2 different approaches, that is going to be favored high, regardless if they do the same run with just different tricks. The judges know it's so much harder to find your line out there.
Yeah, for sure. I think as well, man, that's a really interesting point about being here at the Põhjala Factory as well. It's a different vibe, right? When we used to be at the Sirhau, the arena, things were much more spaced out. You had much more time, and it's really cool to see the different kind of lines and runs that you see riders putting together here at the Põhjala Factory, because it's it's so much tighter. Like, it's way more compact. And like you say, you've kind of got to, if you can hit every obstacle on your run through, then like, I bow down to you, fair play. But like, yeah, you've kind of got to pick and choose what you're going to hit here, because everything comes up so fast if you're hitting this at speed.
Yeah, I mean, and right now, Adrian working, we went back to the top, nice 270 turn down on that transfer. You see how many just little pockets he's finding on the course. So he's taking a little bit of a slower pace, but he's totally in control as he hits his pegs on that fakie. I love the way that he started, where he actually dropped to the outside of the ramp. You saw him slide and hop in, and unfortunately having some trouble. You see him look in his hands and go, oh no, I hope I didn't just pull a Baba Booey. But he's gonna get back on the bike right now, and hopefully he can just pull it, because again, it's an overall impression, hitting the front peg on that up rail, which isn't an easy thing to do. And he's got 10 seconds to try to maximize some of these points.
Yeah, Adrian having a better showing on his second run in his first, and the judges will like that. It just depends.
Oh, all right.
Just depends on how much those falls in his first run hurt him, because like we say, both runs count. So the judges will be making sense of that.
Yeah, and that again is another good thing to bring up. You know, I talked with Bart de Jong. He has been instrumental in BMX over in Europe. He actually was here and was kind of inspiration in a lot of ways for Simple Session. He used to team manage and travel with Team GT. This is before our first Simple Session, the year 2000. And our event organizer, Risto Kalamarai, saw Bart de Jong and the GT guys. We're like, this is so awesome. They got a picture together, and this kind of was like, maybe I could put on a contest and help get some more riders here. So all these years later, Bart de Jong's still involved. Big inspiration, but he's one of our head judges. And he said, you know what, this isn't necessarily an Olympic qualifier, this isn't a UCI sanctioned event, so it's really about just showcasing your riding, putting it on display, and they don't want to penalize riders. Nice! Yes, the ice pick grind to 180. They don't want to penalize a rider and maybe not try and play it safe, because if you put a foot down, you lose 10 points, for example.
Yeah, for sure. Shouts to Danger Too Fast in the chat saying, I thought this was happening in January, but I'm hyped it's right now. Yeah, Simple Session, we've been in the summer for the past few years now, really.
Yeah, and it's been a fun thing, because anybody who is in the chat or watching on any of our multiple platforms, start planning to come to 24,
yes,
because this really is a fun event, and the fact that we're here in the summer, it really gives the riders a chance to just experience Estonia on so many more levels. And talking about 24, we know that it's actually going to move to Tartu.
Yeah, right. So yeah, it's going to go kind of south from Estonia. Yeah, 24th to the 25th of August, and it is going to be the European City of Culture. So they've got loads of really cool events going down in Tartu all year. Simple Session though is kind of one of the premier, of course, like headline sporting events that's going down as part of that schedule. So yeah, going home to Tartu really, because the first 4 years of Simple Session were held in Tartu before moving to Tallinn. So yeah, it'll be really cool to be back. I've never actually been either, so I'm really excited to go, man.
I gotta say, same thing, and any bit I've seen of Estonia has been so beautiful. The people here, the culture, they just really welcome action sports riders with open arms. It's so cool too, you travel around town and you see advertisements for Simple Session on all the billboards, the buses, and to really be a part of it. But right now we've got Tarnel Krutz, who's dropping in, 27 years old, the Estonian local, like we said, from Tartu, where we'll be going next year on course.
Yeah, hoping to make it into those finals this year, like you were saying, Daryl. A couple of spots outside last year, just wants to get into that top 15 today.
Ooh, nice. Going a lucky stall. That's when you have your pedal on the ramp with your back peg. The front peg is hanging down. You got a 270 re-entry. Landed a little front end heavy, but able to keep going. Having some difficulty dumping off the back of the horse, but hopefully for these final 26 seconds, he can really make a statement.
Ruben Elevated also asking in the chat, how many riders for the qualifying? 54 riders in qualification today. We've got 14 jams, 15 go through. Both runs count, and we're in the first jam. So we're going to be here for a good few hours. Like Daryl was saying, we're going to be kicking back, enjoying the riding, seeing what goes down. And yeah, we're hyped to have you with us. So make sure you've got your drinks, make sure you've got your snacks, because it's going to be a good afternoon, evening, or morning, depending on where you're watching in the world.
Yeah, we are global, and you see the list of riders. I also see in the chat some riders asking, hey, we see his face on the poster. He's won this before. I'm talking about Garrett Reynolds. How come he's not riding in the contest? Unfortunately, Garrett just got sick, so he's not going to be able to be competing. I was actually with Garrett last week. We were in Battle of Hastings in the south of England, and he unfortunately was planning on coming, got a little bit sick, so he's not going to be riding. So we're sending Garrett your get well vibes but that's why you were inquiring. But we got 54 other beasts of riders who are going to really try to put on quite a showing. And like as you mentioned, our defending champion, Boyd Hilder, big backflip on that hip. I mean, that's like a mellow wedge. There's no takeoff coming back at us with that double tail whip.
Yeah, for sure. Coming out of Finland, Miska going, do you know what? I'm in Jam 1, but I'm going to bring out the big guns.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Ooh.
nice.
So there we go. That's more of like a transition riding that you'd see doing that flip. Although there are riders like Kevin Peraza or other riders who will throw flips on the street. So it's kind of open to your own interpretation. I don't like putting BMX in a box, but if we just kind of explain it and kind of describe the differences, you know, generally speaking, that's what you see.
Yeah, for sure. I think as well, like I've always found with Simple Session, because everything's relative, right? Like it looks like a normal park, but you come here and you can go, oh no, that feature's actually really big, because everything at Simple Session can be big. So I think it leaves loads of scope for riders to go huge. And Miska absolutely buzzing on that second run.
Putting a big exclamation point at the end of your run. I mean, 60 seconds, a lot of energy going out for your body, and then also having the nerves in the mix. And when you can kind of put it together, it's a good feeling, because you've been thinking about this all year long. It's not just a regular comp. But let's look at a lot of the highlights right here and take it in.
So there we go, checking out some of the highlights from Jam 1 of the BMX qualifiers at Simple Session 2023. Seeing Miska very happy with that final run. But in the top spot right now, our first rider to drop, Adrian Vonken, with a 58.33, sets the mark to beat.
So the score top you can possibly get is a 100, but let's not be too concerned with those numbers yet, because we're going to see how other riders fit in. Judges need to kind of see where they fit. But again, friendly reminder, if you're Heat 1 or our last heat, you're still going to be competing against our other riders. So right now, looking at our mugshots of Heat 2.
Yeah, we've got Nikita Vinogradov, Sim Enuvere, Andrei Yogi, and Erikas Majauskas. I hope I've said all of those names right. If not, please do let me know in the chat.
Well, it sounded good from my house, so flowing off the tongue. I know with my Brooklyn, New York accent, I'm sure we're probably in a better stand and point from where you're saying it. So right now we're getting our first rider getting ready to drop heat number 2, Nikita, 21 years old from Latvia. This is his first time at Simple Session, so it's cool the fact that we're going to get a chance to witness his BMX on a global level for the first time. I always love this because I get a chance to witness some of the new talent out there. And we're seeing the Latvian rider start out with a feeble grind, press up on his front wheel, and then throw that bar spin. So a feeble grind is when you use the back peg to grind, front wheel on the ledge, and the opposite of that is a Smith grind. So similar in skateboarding, but it's actually a little bit different, but the body positions is all you have to know. Smith, feeble, where you're at.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, just getting a little bit squirrely. Coming off. Oh.
Let's give him a moment. It looks like he is in a bit of pain.
Okay, we may need to get the medic over for that. Not feeling great about his knee right there. Let us know in the chat though if who you are backing today. We've already got so many great messages coming in, so thank you very much. We'll make sure we of course are shouting you guys out. Davis shouting out Nikita. Unfortunately just taking a spill on run 1.
Someone from the medical team.
Let's send the positive vibes out there. I mean, so many times riders just get their composure, and we've seen it so many times. They'll ride in their second run. Hopefully Nikita can do that. He doesn't have anything too serious going on.
Just got kind of squirrely on that hit, man. It's just slightly spun him out. But yeah, let us know. And also, of course, hashtag Simple Session on Twitter if you'd like a shout as well. We're going to head straight though to Siim Enuvere.
28 years old. Tallinn is his hometown, so we are in his city right now. He's got that local support, and this is a hitching post ramp dropping in. Yeah. I'm going to give a shout out to past Simple Session champion Drew Bezanson. That was always one of his signature drop-ins. Drew Bezanson is one of the all-time winningest champions here. He's one of my favorite riders, along with everyone out in Estonia. Drew, I know you're watching. We're cheering you on. We miss you, sending you a lot of love. And you see your inspiration right there on that drop-in off the hitching post being started by the Estonian rider, because he's 28, and I'm sure he watched you as a wee young lad. And now at his first time at Simple Session, dropping in Drew Bezanson style.
Yeah, I remember Drew. I can't remember which year it was. There was a massive vert wall, as there often is at Simple Session, and Drew dropping in like that. It was absolutely crazy. Just to kick off a run, like just got the crowd amped immediately.
I think that could be any year that Drew is here, right? It is always, the hair would stand up on the back of your neck and your arm. You're like, magic is about to happen. And every time Drew Bezanson would drop in and get it done. He was actually champion 2010, 11, and 12. And he took a little bit of a break and came back strong, 14 and 15. So Drew Bezanson, that's why I say he's one of our all-time overall winners, having the 5-time champion.
Yeah, really kind of wrote himself into Simple Session history, and someone who's welcome back anytime. Also loving as well seeing things in the chat about like, guys, we need to go to Simple Session. You do, right? Because you'll hear us talk today about the fact that people have done well at street jams, right? There's so much more. Obviously, you hear about the big contest here. This is, of course, the main event. There's also the parties, but then there are the street jams as well. We've been getting out when the rain's kind of permitted this week to go and hit like spots for sanctioned street events, and everyone's been absolutely tearing it. So you'll hear us talking about that and how riders in the contest today have been literally, like smashing it out in the streets.
So you see the clock is started right now, taking his first go. This is Andrio Yogi, also 23 years old from Estonia. He's born on a small little island right there in the Baltic. Currently lives in Finland, doing it for Stoned Street. That's the crew out here that rides. Always gets behind all of our jams. Unfortunately, going down, you see him limping as well.
A couple of spills in jam 2. This is it though, the guy's coming out going, do you know what, this is, like you say, one of the premier action sports event in the international calendar. Like, if you're a BMX rider that is coming to Simple Session, you are kind of laying it all down, right? It's, you can't hold back. And this is the thing with 2 runs as well that both count. It's like, you can't chill on your first run. You've got to come out swinging.
Yeah, nice bar spin, bunny hop drop in. The Lithuanian.
Catching the speed that vert ball has to offer. Those bars.
Erikas Majorias on course. Look at that bar spin transferring up onto the stage, getting a quick adjustment. Very cool to see that pedal grind, and then he hopped into the transition, and then a toothpick hang over to a 360 bar spin fakie. Now, James, when a rider can put back-to-back-to-back tricks like that, it just shows how in control they are, and it really sets a whole nother standard, because you're doing a little bit of a supermodel toboggan right there, putting the arm up for the style points, but it just shows that you're able to just have control out there. You can really have awareness of the course, and you don't get lost. And I say that in quotes because sometimes you don't know what you're doing in that 60 seconds, but right now he really knows what he's doing at hang 5 across the stage, and that is our Lithuanian rider Erikas Majorkas out there making things happen.
Yeah, so those are all the first runs of jam number 2 complete. So we will go back to the top of the bill, but I don't think Nikita Vinogradov, coming out of Latvia, is gonna be riding. It looked like he'd gone down on his knee quite hard, and he was kind of able to hop off the park, but it didn't look great, so he may be getting some medical attention. In which case, we will jump down the order to Sim Inuvero. First time riding a simple session. And local to Tallinn. It must be such a great thing as well, being, if you're a local rider, you know, you're Estonian, you have one of the biggest contests, literally in your hometown. It must be so exciting when you finally get to make your like simple session debut as a rider, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is the big show. The fact that riders even come here to Estonia, you know, this really helped put Estonia on the map on the international action sports. A lot of riders know, hey, Barcelona, or I'm from New York City. I mean, that's always a destination for street, right? You live in the UK, hey, let's go to London. There's all these spots that have always been destinations. Estonia definitely was not one of them at all for action sports. So the fact that we have all these really just forward-thinking riders, we have all these events, we have sponsors that have eyes on here and make these opportunities, it's just, unfortunately going down. It just makes something really unique, and the riders do look forward to it, especially if you've never ridden at a contest of this caliber.
Yeah, for sure. I know growing up, for me, I like dreamed of riding a simple session, you know, and at the time I finally had that email in my inbox like, simple session invite. I remember, dude, I was in bed and I lost my mind. I was like, yeah, I was like telling my girlfriend, I was like, I'm gonna go ride a simple session. So like, man, it really does kind of feel like that as, you know, as a European rider as well, it's such a good chance to put yourself on an international platform, you know? If you can come out to simple session, I've seen so many people, like you will have too, over the years that have come out as a relative unknown and really make their name, and people suddenly go, oh my gosh, and then you go and you see that rider progress onto so many different things.
Well, then let me hold a mirror up and flip the script to you and ask the same question. What's that experience and energy like your first time competing at Simple? What was that like?
Dude, terrifying, but like super exciting as well, man. So like, yeah, it was great. Like it was just that moment of like, oh man, like I've been working so hard, I've been riding real hard. Like, you know, you kind of get out to simple session and finally go, yeah, cool, I did it, man, I did it. And that's an achievement in itself. So when you see guys come out here, especially on their debut, and kill it, like it's like, yeah, good work, man.
Yeah, and right now, second time here at Simple Session 360 coming off. This is Andreo Yogi. So the cool thing about Simple Session, it's not just this contest and a big combination right there. Smith stall 180 up onto the ledge. You saw how much power you needed to take to land fakie and then get the spin out. Whoa, walking the line right there. Double tire ride to bar spin. But the cool thing about Simple Session, there's so much more. We obviously have the parties that it's legendary, known for, but the last few years, going for that 540, we've stepped it up where there's street jams all over the city in the days coming up prior. And a lot of riders maybe that don't compete in the contest, so you see a flat tire, is he gonna try to do something with the flat? But yeah, bar spin getting a few points in.
The hilarious thing is that will be a few points for a bar spin on flat as well.
But you know, you get a chance, you come here, you ride in the jams, and it's just a lifestyle, and everything is really kind of a complete week for riders. It takes some of the pressure off, but I bring that up because Andrea Yogi last year, really, that was the first time I've seen him ride, and we had a jam with the hot tub and a box jump. You might be saying, what are you talking about? But you can follow us on our Instagram or our YouTube channel, Rewind the Clock, and see all the footage from years past as well.
Yeah, for sure. You can actually, if you go onto the Simple Session YouTube, check out footage of some of the first Simple Sessions when, like we were saying at the start, the contest was held in Tartu, where we're going to be back next year for 2024. First time in many years that the contest will have been in Tartu and not in Tallinn. Eric Gass just taking his final run at the moment, making it happen. Nice 5 on the quarter.
That 540, not easy to do. Hang 5 right there. The balance point on that front peg. You see he uses his left foot to just get that balance by swinging it. I gotta say, I'm a fan of his riding style so far. He's got a lot of variety, like that street style tooth hanger. He also went fast, put a little gas, and cleared that long driveway, wedge to wedge. And let's see if he could maybe get a good big final thought. He's got a bar spin. I don't know if that's what he was looking for at the end, but very impressed with the Lithuanians riding.
Yeah, Erikas Majauskas doing it for still BMX. Just 19 years old, second time out of Simple Session this year. And rounding out jam number 2. Let's take a look through some of the highlights. So there we go, some highlights from jam number 2. Jump Life saying in the chat, flat tire bunny hop bar was epic. And there we go, the highest placing rider from jam number 2, Erikas Majauskas, coming out of Lithuania. And we are in a moment going to move on to jam number 3. And this one is going to see Ron Atakuk, James Noparat, first time a rider from Thailand is going to ride at Simple Session. Super excited for that. Maria Stoll coming out of Germany, and Chris Kanuk coming out of Latvia.
I love the international field. So cool, Thailand being represented out here. I'm a big fan of Muay Thai. Also just the energy of Thailand. So I love that we got all these different cultures represented and riders. The fact that we have this international pool, we do get to see some different styles as well, because riders really get kind of fueled by where they live and your surroundings, right? So I live in New York City. We also have maybe some of the street riding on the Northeast is a little bit grimier than maybe out west in California, where you got these more polished spots. And the same goes for all these countries around the world, and their styles are kind of embedded by what they're used to riding.
Yeah, for sure. So jam number 2 getting underway. 1 minute on the clock for Ron Atakuk, coming out of Elva in Estonia.
And a little bit of a fun backstory right here. This is his first time at Simple Session going down. But last year at one of the after parties, I had a chance to dance not only with my man on the dance floor, but afterwards, he actually came up to me and he said, next year, you're gonna comment on my run. And right now, he's here in the contest. Talk about making manifesting reality right here. So Ron on course, ripping it up, 21 years young, and I like that he's a man of his word, and he's got the funky style. Those pants going fakey backwards, looking for some kind of combo. Come on, dig deep, Ron, you got 5 seconds.
Amazing, love that. Full manifestation. Just came and found you at the party and was like, Daryl, man, you're going to be commentating on my run.
Double bar spin. All right, come on, Ron. I'm going to give you that pep talk. Get your head in the game. You still got another run. This is right now your dream being realized. First time here at Simple Session. A lot of stress, a lot of pressure, but I'm liking what I see so far.
Shout out to everyone in the chat as well. We see you. Loads of love for this guy coming in. James Noparat, doing it for Thailand. First time a Thai rider has been at Simple Session. Here to make his debut and hopefully feeling the love that you are all sending in. What a nice combo to kick things off as well, Daryl.
Yeah, the Thai cow in the house right there, getting that Smith to 180. He's asking the cameraman to move over because anything is possible. Double peg, 180 backwards manual, getting into the transition. So cool because that 180 hop, you got to get so much of your weight in the right spot. Unfortunately, his weight dumping off that ledge. 30 seconds. Come on, Thailand, put your energy together right now and get behind James.
Still got time to get some bits done. 20 seconds on the clock.
Well, I want to ask you, when you were ever in a contest and competing, what would go through your mind when you wind up having a crash and try to get back on it?
Dude, I'm really bad for that. Like, I'm really bad for getting back in the game. So once I fall, as much as I want to overcome that fall, man, the mental toll is so much. And even like to just step away and go, okay, cool, I can come back and run number 2. Run 2 is fine, but trying to recover within that run or within that jam, I would struggle so much. So I always commend riders that can get back on and just get back in the game.
So would that kind of shake your headspace a little
For sure,
bit?
100%.
And what about like your endurance? Would you feel winded and kind of defeated, or I mean?
Well, that's the thing. It's almost like a double-edged sword, right? Because you fall, and by falling, you end up being more tired, right? So it's like, if you can land your run, not only are you landing your tricks, but you're less tired. You fall and it's like, oh, give me a break, man. I'm super tired now and I'm just trying to get back on, like.
All right, repping Kink BMX from Germany, 25 years old. Marius Stahl on course. So you might see a lot of riders out here have different bike setups. Oh, going down. This is BMX, it is freestyle. You can set your ride up any way you want. You could have pegs, you could have no pegs, you could have brakes, no brakes, free coaster, free wheel. You could put whatever you want on your bike. Thing is, you have different options when you have different setups on your bike. So if you do have pegs, you can grind them. If you don't, you might focus a little bit more on style, maybe grinding the frame, grinding pedals. Nice move right there. Checking in with that back peg and then getting the 180. Same goes with the brakes. Used to be that riders always had brakes on your bike, and you actually can use that as a tool when you're riding. So when you do a manual and you find that balance point on the front or back wheel, you could feather your brake and kind of adjust how high up your front end is. But many years ago, there were a couple street riders. Shout out to the Gons, not the skate Gons, but the BMX Gons, Mark Gonzalez. We also had Troy McMurray on the East Coast. We had Edwin De La Rosa. A lot of riders who helped kind of pioneer this brakeless style. It was a little bit more of a full commitment, and you had to have a little bit more bike control because you couldn't just pull your brakes. And now we kind of see that as the benchmark for a lot of riders. So I want to give a shout out to Mike Griffin. He was another brakeless pioneer. Look at that big gap to feeble grind right there. The Latvian rider, Chris Canucks, right now on course.
Sending shouts to Aaron Cullen messaging in saying, "G'day fellas, coming out of Australia." What time of day would it be there? Let us know what time it is, Aaron.
And this is his third Simple Session. Much like a lot of you in the chat, Garrett Reynolds is his favorite rider as well, and you can see a little bit of the influence in the bike setup. It looks like he's maybe riding a Fiend bike, which is Garrett Reynolds. And he's charging back. Nice. Getting that nollie, that's when you press off that front wheel, and a click turn down. Hard to do because your weight has to go forward, and then getting around. Going for that 180 backwards peg grind. Just blowing off the back right there. It's got 3 seconds. Maybe we could put one last thought, but the judges are going to say X up grind, not across on their watch.
Yeah, Chris coming out of Latvia as well, just kind of down the road from here, really. Like, you know, the Estonian and Latvian riders will all know each other really well because, you know, they're so close to each other. They'll be sharing contests out here in the Baltic, same as the Finnish riders as well. It's a really, really kind of nice community that there is in this part of the world.
All right, heat number 3, back to the top 4 riders. Ron Arthur Cork dropping in. As mentioned, this is a dream being manifest in real time. Bar spin from the double peg. Last year on the dance floor, he said, hey, Daryl, you're going to be commenting on my run at Simple Session, and right now we are seeing his first time ever competing. Looking good with the double peg up, 180 bar spin, boom, James, that was nice.
There we go, having a few falls in run number 1, maybe first, you know, Simple Session debut nerves, but run number 2, like I was saying, you know, those moments where you just step away and you just go, take a breath for a moment. I can come back to this with a fresh mind, almost getting that fakey manny as well, but not going down, so the judges, you know, won't have marked him down for that. It's more just that he used up some time there.
Love the bar spin, double time, and then going for the 180 over that hitching post. Looking at the clock, come on, I hope he goes for that again. That's a huge trick right there, trying to land backwards. Final thought. All right, I'm gonna give it up along with everyone here in Estonia. He's a local, 21 years old, going for the big 180. That hitching post is like a massively tall sub-rail, steep quarter on either side, and trying to have that momentum and force coming backwards, hard thing for sure. So we're gonna move over to Thailand for his second run. 30 years old, lives in Bangkok. James Noprat.
Yeah, so much love for James coming in on the chat. Great to have the Thai contingent watching and supporting today.
Cowboy power is what we're hearing in that chat being plastered. Look at that. Super technical. I don't know if that was a happy accident or not, but it looked good to me. Quick toothpick, double tire ride, and then getting the trick off the rail. So hard to make happen. Here we go, charging back. Double peg, going the distance, and then that nice toothpick hangover. Again, the toothpick's the front peg being utilized, the hangover is in your back end, goes over that rail.
A really nice run. This was where he went down last time. Was that intentional?
I don't know, it looks
works.
good though.
It
I was going to
works.
say, these might be happy accidents, but they look so good. So I don't want to call out and say that. We'll let the judges decide.
For sure.
I think everyone in the chat here is just super hyped, saying that they're liking what they see.
Yeah, 100%. Massively managing to link the course together. So good to see James have a full ball on this run. Doing it for Thailand. First time a Thai rider's ever been at Simple Session. And yeah, doing the country proud. So we are going to head from James Noparat over to Marius Stroll, coming out of Germany.
As the so-called crowd pleaser. Let's see.
Are we going to see James trying something though? Here we go. Oh!
It wasn't meant to be. Regardless, please put your hands together for James Noparat.
Big shout out to all the riders out in Bangkok. We have a special shout out to Ian at Duckfest, Sadhu champion, BMX rider at heart, getting behind all of the BMX riders globally here. Now we're going to move over to Germany. 25 years old, Marius Stoll, doing it for kink as well. Traffic distribution, Eclaw. Look at the speed, charging up that vert wall. Looking to set things up, doing an ET, little homage right there to the old classic Steven Spielberg film. Pedaled in the air, hence the ET. Double peg, 360. Wow, I really dig that he uses his height and that power, James. We see how much strength you have to have in order to grind 180 and then 180 back, especially with that 360 off as well.
Come on. Don't get tired.
Heading back through for that long driveway section up to the quarter.
Going a little bit dark side right there. Hitching post, double peg.
Oh, nice.
Oh, 5,
Just slipping out, taking that 270 round to fakie.
3,
Just giving it a little bit too much.
do
Here we
it.
go, redemption. Yes, nice. With a little half cab after as well.
That is time
It's
for
always a good feeling. You wind up trying to go for something, you can't pull it, you get it done in time, boom. Makes it just even a little bit sweeter.
standing.
So a nice second run for Marius Stoll.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the big screen.
We had a question in the chat as well about results and current scores. We'll be updating you after every single jam. And the final rider of jam number 3 is Chris Canut, coming out of Latvia.
Full speed for that gap. Feeble into it. Nose press. Double pegger on the ledge. Double pegger over.
Ah, just going down off that
Almost
long rail.
with our camera true. But no problem. Nothing happened. And more than 30
Yeah,
seconds
bar
on
spin.
the clock stays.
Out of the bank.
Chris fully
And back through the kink rail over to double peg.
360 back.
270 on the hip and up on that big vert wall.
No foot at
Yeah, that's that no foot can, kicking both feet over the top tube right there.
15.
I like his style. He's pulling a little bit from every element backwards with the double peg grind coming down. Had that jumping style, the nollie turn down in the first run, also that no-footed can, and then the big backwards grind. Let's see, maybe he goes for an X up double peg. Nope, double tire, bar spin.
And that is time.
Daniel saying in the chat, no-footed cans are underrated.
I gotta agree with you. As being a more, I'm gonna say, mid-school rider myself, I gotta agree with you. They used to be all the rage back in the day. Hopefully they make a little bit of a comeback.
Nice, so let's check out some of the highlights from jam number 3. So there we go, highlights from jam number 3 of the BMX qualifiers at Simple Session 2023. And just waiting to see from the judges, our panel of esteemed judges. There they are.
We got Marcus Vilke in the middle. He is an X Games silver medalist in the year 2000. Tom Sillens is closest to us on our screen. He is from Latvia. He's as inbred into that scene as possible. He actually helps build skate parks. His own construction company, Mindwork Ramps. He travels all over Europe building some of the coolest parks. He actually has an indoor facility there as well. Tom Sillens is just a powerhouse of BMX knowledge. And then on the far end of your screen, you see Bart de Jong. He is another powerhouse. does run Fat BMX. He also is one of the technical delegates for the UCI. He was instrumental in helping BMX get into the Olympics for our inaugural game in Tokyo 2020.
And we have a new leader, Chris Canucks. Absolutely smashing it. The first rider today to get up into those 60s, 60.33. A reminder, 15 riders go through to tomorrow. So Chris putting himself in a nice spot to hopefully make that cut. And we are going to head from that.
Big shout out to everyone in the chat, especially Daniel Heiss out there. I know that you like that Marcus Vilke shout out. I agree with you with the no foot cans and Chris Doyle, but let's look at these mug shots right now, heat number 4.
Yeah, we've got Sven Lapasa coming out of Estonia, another local guy. Rihards Brinkis. Also got Michael Dixon coming out of the UK, and Yuma Oshima.
I'm psyched for this heat because we're going to see a lot of different styles out here. I think this is going to be kind of representative of that as well. Our first rider is an Estonian. He actually raps, goes by Young Yuki. Laid back style on the bike, but he's all about the music and the flow. Let's see, toboggan, bunny hop down. Look at the speed right here. He's showing you control. Even though these are like staple tricks, the double peg grind, he's got the control to tuck in. He's just cruising. I'm liking what he's putting out so far.
Yeah, definitely attacking this course.
The confidence is there. Tabletop, classic BMX trick, laying it over. The bike hence looks like a tabletop if you do it proper and do it flat.
That's a 360 when you throw the bar.
Yeah, and heading up that kink rail as well. A popular feature.
20 seconds to go. 20 seconds to go here.
Young Yuki looking good, going for that ice pick grind, trying to go across that whole driveway. 360 fakie with the steez. Unfortunately, didn't get the smooth re-entry coming back down. Gonna wave it off.
He is waving it off. Thank you very much.
Did not take advantage of that last 10 seconds, but he was putting down.
Out of Estonia.
Yeah, a strong first run. And like we've been saying, both runs count.
Yeah, you know, the judges out here want to see the way a rider takes a unique approach to this course. It's only built for this event, and a lot of that is your confidence, right? And how you can charge and be in control, regardless of the tricks you do, and that's what we just saw.
Rihards Brinkis coming right out from Latvia, from Riga, where we previously had the Simple Summer Session.
Up first rider we saw go the distance on our battleship right there. Bar spin bunny hop in, using that upright rail. The back peg, look at the bar spin 270 on the hip.
Heading up that vert wall, back over the hip.
A little bit of a chicken butt right there, putting the hips to the bars.
Look at the height. This basically is a 7-foot tall Latvian.
Let's see what he's going to work out. He's got 20 seconds. Double peg over Smith, super technical. Putting the back peg, the back wheel up on the rail is so hard because it's narrow. When you're in that Smith grind, your bike almost wants to get pulled back into a double peg, but to have the balance point looked cherry. There you go. Double peg, ice pick down.
Just switching things up on the kink as well, using that natural point that the rail dips back down to take things to ice as well. And that is a strong run for Rihards Brinkis coming out of Riga. And up next, coming out of Edinburgh, beautiful city, love Edinburgh, Michael Dixon, a regular on the UK circuit, but third Simple session for Michael this year.
Yeah, third time. He's definitely helped build a name for himself. Riding for GT, great grind right there. I know Ben Ward, the GT team manager, is watching, cheering on that 360 bar spin down. Also Jeff Zielinski working for GT, one of the most established photographers in BMX. Hyped to see what their rider's doing, and that is a 180 bonk in the front peg and then getting that 180 back around, so a 360 toothpick bonk. 30 seconds, halfway mark, feeble grind. Trying to get it going.
Strong first 30 seconds for Michael. One full. Taking that toothpick hanger to bar spin off the end of the rail.
Having some difficulty side saddle on that tail whip. Gonna give a little shout out to one of our media people here, Endless Mag, Isabekos. gave a hat to this man, and we actually are both wearing the same hat. He had the style, so I wanted to give him props. I got one of these endless caps on myself, so a little bit of guerrilla marketing and street promotion goes a long way. But hopefully Michael Dixon will go a long way with his score. Again, 0 to 100. It's an overall impression with both runs counting.
Yeah, we're heading over to Japan right now, though, for Yuma Oshimo.
2 days ago.
First simple session, putting the speed on. I love this. Where's he going? To the top of that Pringles vert wall, charging. Are we going to see a transfer?
So much speed. Look at that wall ride.
Going coast to coast and then getting the gap across. This is cool to see. No tricks have been done except transfers and high-speed manuals. You see he's got that brake cable on his right side, big tabletop laying it over, and that cable is showing you the bike control with the tire slide. This is awesome, James.
The first 30 seconds, so much power, so much speed. Throwing in the bar spin over the hip as well. Coming back round for that volcano. Oh, nice, the 180 transfer. Yeah, nice. Makes it happen.
How are the judges going to make sense of this? Because he just lit the course on fire. There is smoke coming off from the speed. Oh, going for that Fufanu, balancing with that brake. Unreal. If you were to actually take a bird's eye view and just chart the course that he took on it, he probably hit double the amount, close to it, as any other rider because of that speed. If you were just going to talk about drawing a line, it would probably be double the distance.
And I think that's kind of like the thing that's kind of hard about judging this, right? In the sense of the judges are just as much looking at the style and use of course as much as they are the technicality.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see what Yuma does on his second run. Now, if he flips the script and goes totally slower and a different style, that would be interesting because it's showing how diverse he is as a rider, as opposed to, and I love what we just saw, and I actually like to see it again between you and me. But if he goes out and just peels back the throttle and lights the fuse again and does another whipping fast course like that, it might not be favored as well because he's showing the judges, hey, I don't have as much control, I don't have as much in my bag of tricks to adapt on this course as quickly as possible, because the riders don't have that much time to practice here. You have 54 riders, you also have sister session, you got all of our skaters out here, so when you do practice, it's not as much time as you think. So to be able to go that fast was really impressive.
He's waving it off.
All right, that was Sven Lepisar on course. I love what he just put down. Young at Yuki. Don't want to take away from his riding at all. We're talking about all the riders in heat number 4.
Second run. Also
look very confident and controlled out there.
And doing it for Estonia as well, which is big. Here at Simple Session in Tallinn. Rihards Brinkis, though, from just down the road in Riga, Latvia, coming in for his second run, heading up onto what you were calling the battleship up top.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of options right there. You got quarters on either side, grind boxes, and it's also on the side of the course, so it changes this from being a linear course back and forth, right? We're kind of limited with our footprint in here as far as what could be built. Nate did such an unbelievable job, our 3rd year in this location, and he really just, I don't want to say stumped riders, he got them really excited and inspired. So it gives that option where you're not just going linear back and forth, but you have that, hey, let me change my angle and try to go up and cut across the park.
Yeah, for sure. And we've definitely seen riders getting creative already with the lines that they're hitting. Just 2 seconds left, getting that tooth hanger in just before time. And that is the second of 2 runs for Rihards Brinkis at Simple Session 2023.
Just also want to let everyone around the world know that's watching, if James and I don't see something from our house, from the announcing's point of view, it has 0 impact on the judges. Just want to put that out there and 100%. Emphasize that. We have 0 impact. If we even say, hey, they did a bar spin and the rider did an X up or a quadruple bar, we have 0 impact. Much I'd like to, because I have my favorites out here as well, but it has 0 impact. So we just can see what we can from our perspective. And right now we're watching Michael Dixon drop in for his second run of 2. 360 with that bar spin, known as the truck driver GT rider. Crank arm slide to bar spin. kind of balancing a little bit on that pedal, a little bit on that crank arm, somewhere in between. And you know, James, I talked to so many riders about that because I'm like, hey, help me out here a little bit. You're out on course. What would you call that trick? Would it be a crank arm? Would it be a pedal? I don't really know. I don't care. I'm just grinding on it. I'm like, all right. I'm not trying to get too nerdy here. But I got riders and fans who will give us heck in the comments if we don't call it the right way. So a lot of the riders just kind of go with the hybrid. That's why you'll even hear on sometimes like a 720, we might just say an off-axis 7 or corked out. It's like somewhere in between. It's as if you took a paintbrush and just kind of smeared the paint so the lines aren't as hard. But right now, there you go. Crank arm pedal, again, somewhere in between smearing the paint. That was Michael Dixon with his second run.
Smashing it. Great 2 runs for Michael. Katie in the chat saying, yeah, I think the course looks fun and I would rather have this than the courses that are huge and everything makes you pedal. So interesting, huh? Like different views, different opinions, and that's kind of what makes riding great.
Yeah, and if a rider can get it done and get that momentum pumping as far as not pedaling, but let's see, is Yuma going to pedal? Is he going to pump? Is he going to change the approach?
He's coming in with speed. He's attacking it once again over that pyramid, straight up that vertical, almost off the wood onto the brickwork.
A little bit faster, a little bit higher. Yes, getting that coast-to-coast wall ride, checking in. You see he had a lot more speed right there. Wall ride transfer. I know Nate Wessel, course designer, loves that. He was one of the first riders to push the big wall ride transfers, and there we got that Fufanu utilizing that brake to just balance on the sweet spot with the back tire right on the edge of that wooden hitching post, and then come back in and look at that bottom bracket grind across, utilizing no pegs, just the frame, getting the crowd's energy hyped. What are you all thinking at home?
Yeah, James Alexandre messaging saying, love his energy. Daniel Heiss saying, Japan making it look good right now.
I agree with you. Going up on the radio bike sucks.
That is a big drop to fall from as well. Is he saying he wants one more go? I think he wants one for the fans.
I want to see it. Yeah, for the fans, for us, for everyone in the chat right now, trying to do that Fufanu again. That's where you balance on that back wheel. You got to be precise. Yuma doing it for Japan, going up. Ooh.
Oh. Just having the bike land on top of him as well.
Just a little too much gas right there. He wasn't able to just balance and pause up there. Doing it for Zen Distribution, E-Claw, Credit Racing, Burn Japan, HTY BMX, and they're showing BMX as well.
Amazing. People absolutely fired up by that.
You see Stu Chisholm down there just celebrated his birthday, actually getting a drink of water right there. He might attempt to do it again. We'll try to keep you posted at home. But right now, let's watch some of the many highlights from Jam number 4.
So there we go. That was it for Jam number 4. I'm really hyped to say as well that Yuma, whilst we were showing those highlights, actually did get the Fufanu up on the sub-rail, sub-box, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, getting it done. We heard the crowd erupt from the commentary booth here, and I believe we've got the clip of it that we can look at in just a second.
Fingers are crossed, because that was a huge foo-fanoo. That radio bike sub box is about 5 feet tall. It's set back, and the face of it is actually concave, so that coping is really meaty. Let's see as Yuma comes in. You can see his right finger on that brake lever, goes up, pulls the brake, pauses. Not that time. Jump back in. We heard that he pulled it, but right there has that crank flip. Still went up and stalled. Impressive. But I think he was looking for that sweet, muddy spot.
Straight on the back tire.
Michael Dixon, your new leader.
Amazing. Coming out of Edinburgh, like I say, beautiful city and beautiful riding from Mike there. Absolutely smashing it. A 65, putting himself almost 5 points clear of second place.
And I'll just say this. What's up, Ben Ward? I know you're psyched. You know how to pick your riders right there. GT up on top. Michael Dixon looking good out there. It also could just be that endless cap he has as well, wearing the same hat as me. I like to say my style rubbed off on him, so we'll give it up.
Right, we are going to move those straight into heat number 5. Marek Beliak coming out of Lithuania. We've also got Chris Patrick Tilk out of Estonia, Andrew Nesterov from Ukraine, and then Emmanuel Silva from Argentina.
All riders, please stop
Stacked
riding. All riders,
heat
please
once
stop
again. And Marek is going to be kicking it off for us. 18 years old. Always got a smile on his face.
All right.
And he kind of lets that energy flow into his riding. Positivity. And kicking off with that bar spin on the big vert wall. May just be getting to where he's looking to go. That was a warm-up bar spin.
Representing Lithuania. Give it up.
Actually, as well, a BMXer that has come from the world of scootering. He's transitioned over to a bike.
It's always an interesting thing, because sometimes you see a different approach, some different tricks. I know you all know Ryan Williams. He has definitely kind of redefined some of the tricks you can do on a BMX bike as of late, and a lot of that comes from that scootering background. So you see the bars are very far forward. It's almost known as Chicago style when they're pushed forward like that, but it changes your whole bike geometry. If your bars are farther forward, it makes your head tube really steep, so when your bars turn, it's very responsive. It's almost at that point, I don't know, maybe snotty you'd say, because it's so quick and back and forth. That's why a lot of trail riders will have either their bars back a little bit or that head tube's a little bit more on a back spot. But right now we're seeing working things out. 360, and it might have been a bar spin, but maybe there was that little scooter style you were talking about, because it was a unique toss of the bars.
Whipping it round. Rolandas saying, let's go, Marek, giving him some love in the chat.
10 seconds to go,
Of course, let us know who you're rooting for. And you can use hashtag Simple Session as well on Twitter. Taking the tail whip off the top of the battleship, as we're now calling it, into the kind of quartered bank down below.
Yeah,
it's a cross between the two, that landing, really.
And just to give you a little background of why I called it the battleship, I grew up in New York. There was a famous skate park, all you guys might remember from Don't Quit Your Day Job and other videos. Hackettstown Skate Park, big. We called it the battleship because it was this 13, 14 foot tall vert wall that had all different quarters and everything else coming out of it. Anytime I've seen it at a contest, kind of just kept that going. You know, it was a bigger version of it, but I don't know. Looks like a battleship to me with some options. If you're going with it, I'm sticking with it.
Dude, I'll go with it. Earlier I was calling that like quarter to flat bank with the Pringles logo on, the Pringles wedge. So
all right.
We just come up with names, man. This is how we do it.
Maybe we'll call it the Pringles stack, right? It's like the tube going
dude,
up.
That would have been
right?
so much more creative.
Let us, yeah, great way to start it. Let us know in the chat what you think that should be called. Battleship or whatever you're kind of feeling. But look at this. Daniel Heiss throwing out the 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. sessions that we used to do at Hackettstown way back in the day. So you know we got our mid-school riders out there.
Love that.
Who know what's up. All right, now on course, going backwards with that feeble 180 out. We've got Chris Patrick Tilt, an Estonian, 23 years old. 15 years old is when he started riding, doing it for Vans, and he's always a favorite out here. He's won the best Estonian rider before, and we are seeing why with that backwards manual right there. He does not have a regular freewheel. He has a free coaster, so you could travel backwards without your cranks engaging. And that's what we might see a lot of riders do because the technology has advanced in the last couple of years. So riders can do that and going for a big bunny hop 360 right there to flat ground.
Yeah, throwing the bars round. Wants it. This one, if he goes for it, it's going to be for the crowd, but maybe he'll save it for run 2. Looks like he's disappointed with himself for not getting that done, but the crowd enjoying it. Definitely a favorite with the fans. Right, we're going to move to Andrew Nestorov, doing it for Ukraine. Look at that smile. He is ready to go. And there have been some comments back in Andrew in the build-up to this. One of the best street riders to come out of Ukraine.
Much love to Ukraine right now. Remember last year, Dima Zayzev, he's cheering on right now, his Ukrainian friend, dropping in. Big way to start, smooth flowing, 270 transfer. There's that toboggan, grabbing the seat, turning the bars back at us with the bar spin.
Doubling up on those bar spins, one over the hip, one over the pyramids, and then straight into that ice pick down the rail as well.
Yeah, you throw that little nollie in at the first. Those are the details, the control, right? On a skateboard, it's a lot harder to get that pop off the front end. Same goes with the BMX bike because your weight's over the bars, and then you got to get your weight back enough while you still hop to clear your peg.
Especially if you're going for ice as well. You're all on the nose, and then it's like right straight to the back.
Exactly. Tail whip right there, looking good. Ukraine in the house. I spoke too soon going down on that 360. Wasn't able to get enough of a bunny hop off. Harder to bunny hop from a double peg grind than from your tires because sometimes you don't get that pop. I think that might have been an opposite tail whip right there.
We've had a request from Taco saying, can we get a Daryl drip check? What's going down today? Talk us through.
Well, I appreciate that. We might even see it.
Yes,
oh, there we go. All right. I'll drop
Can you stand up for us? Can you stand up for us?
Yeah, I'm going to give you guys a little preview. This is the S&M OG jersey just released. I'm going to give a little shout out here. We've got the 430, the Japanese brand. We've got our lanyard holder. We've got the endless cap. But right now, we'll get back to that. Let's talk about our next rider getting ready to get on course.
Fit goes hard. We've got S&M Fit goes hard. Emmanuel Silva coming in from Argentina, now living in Barcelona.
Wow. Just press that eject button on
just coming off. First 10 seconds, though. He's still got time.
No problem. 45 seconds left, Emmanuel. Double pegger bars.
Yeah, there you go. Bar spin, quick Smith check in right there, coming back at us. Look at the speed, the 180, and he caught the transition with the tail whip. So, James, that's what we talked about earlier. When you could link those tricks together, it just shows you the confidence, and also the fact that he's at 20 seconds left, and he's charging with more speed than some riders had at this part in course. Having some difficulty, but come on. Don't take a page out of your book.
Yeah, right.
Get back on it. Keep your head in the game. Let's go.
Yeah, just missing that back peg, trying to come up the kink rail. Seeming to be a real favorite out there, yeah. Just going double peg over there and kind of just riding off the end of the run. He had a fall early and then had that fall as well.
Thank you very much.
Some good stuff in there, though. Some good stuff in there. He's still got a smile on his face. Yeah, he's not looking very happy about it, but do you know what? Run number 2. Both runs count, right? So, you know, there's some goodness in there, and if he comes out flying in run 2, who knows?
Hold on a second.
But we are back to the top. Marek Beliak from Lithuania.
That makes some bloody noise.
Literally only riding BMX for a couple of years. And here at Simple Session in heat number 5. What an achievement, man. What an achievement.
Ooh, nice way to start it off. 270 turn down, wedge to wedge, quick bar spin. Back at us with the tail whip. 3 hits, 3 tricks. Taking that downside tail whip. All right, all right. Consistent so far. Every obstacle put a trick down. Some of the foundation BMX tricks, but still, if you could link it together. 360 tail whip. That is such a small takeoff.
Almost getting some of the kind of basics done really well to begin with, and then just boom, throwing that 360 whip. Like, here we go. We're going to level up a little bit. We're gonna take a few more risks and get a bit more technicality in the mix. Coming up onto the battleship.
Ooh. 360 bar spin coming down. Has a lot of influence from Stevie Churchill, one of his favorite riders, and you can see it right there, that 360 bar spin coming down. Big move.
And that's time for Marek Beliak. 2 runs. And we'll find out at the end of the jam where he's put himself top 15 go through. Next rider up, Chris Patrick Tilk, coming out of Pärnu, Estonia, 23 years old.
Here in Tallinn, Estonia, whenever you're ready.
Been riding since he was 15.
Actually got 37th last year at Simple Session 22. Going to try to up the ante. Ooh!
Throwing the bars on that 3 to flat.
A little hard to see from our perspective, but it looked maybe like his bars got caught up on something right there. Let's see if he goes again. Take a look at the handlebars. He's got a bunny hop and then toss the bars. Here we go. There. Oh,
no! Robbed. Looked like it was there.
35 seconds. 35.
Just slipping off the back. Getting into link up some more of the park. Trying to take it to fakie over the volcano. Final 20 seconds for Chris Patrick Tilk. Oh, going down hard there on the ledge. Is he going to try and get something else, or is he going to call that time? I think he's going to go for it. He took a hard hit right there. This one's probably going to be after time. Yeah, he's going to call it there. That was a heavy slam as well. I was impressed to see him get back up.
He has some unfinished business. Now take your time.
He wants to go for this though.
Behind you. Am I right, Estonia? Am I right?
I thought he was going to go for that 360 bar again.
Am I right? Simple Session.
Andrew Nestorov from Ukraine coming back in.
Chris Patrick.
Yeah, comments coming in. Shouts to you, Maxim, saying, go Ukraine.
Judges, please, you're here, can't hear you. Cameras out.
There we go, yeah, there's the 3. Oh, and he gets it done after time. He's hyped, the crowd are hyped. Unfortunately, won't score for him, but Chris getting it done.
Chris Patrick Tilk.
Hyped on that. Not the runs he wanted out here at Simple Session,
Granting all riders
but getting it done after time.
Unfinished business. But now,
right
back to the Ukrainian rider,
Andrew Nestorov coming back in.
Whenever you are ready, my friend, this course belongs to you for the next minute. Here we go.
And kicking things off with that 270 transfer. Really, once you've made that transfer, it's more 360 in honesty, coming off that volcano and then over to the flat bank hip. Bar spin, then the nollie bar.
Gets fueled up by metal music, and we hear the metal grinding on that attempt right there. He actually had to move outside of Ukraine right when the war happened, so a little bit of disruption, and I love the fact that this Ukrainian rider is out here repping right now, going for that double peg to 180 off. You see, he didn't get much of a bunny hop, but he was able to get that spin around. There's the tail whip, utilizing his foot to kick the frame around. Oh, hey-oh. Great combination. So James, he does that toothpick on the front, hangs over the back end, goes to the crank arm, and then 180s right off.
Coming around for what's going to be his final trick. He's going to need to take off soon. There we go. Yeah. And getting it done. A nice showing for Andrew Nestorov.
Andrei Nestorov out of the Ukraine.
Great work doing it for Junk Ride's shop.
A lot of Ukraine love coming in, which we got to agree with you. Our next rider, Emmanuel Silva, Argentinian. He actually was riding last weekend at Extreme Barcelona. His shoulder kept popping out of the joint in the finals. Actually, I think almost 3 times, if I'm not mistaken. So the fact that he's riding right now is really impressive.
No.
I was hanging with him the other evening. Really nice guy, super fun. Run 1 didn't quite go how he wanted, but let's hope he can pull it together in this final 40 seconds. Nice.
Love the bike control, right? That's that confidence that comes in. You just see the way he's tossing the bars, and he's still just muscling that frame around.
Ah, getting it done.
180 whipping.
Here we go.
Dig deep. Doing it for Junk Ride. Street Culture Magazine, Otherhood, SSUR. He's rocking that Radio T, so maybe he's picked up a new sponsor right there. 360 out of that grind. Radio, one of our sponsors. You can see that sub box in the back right there. Shout out to all of our sponsors for getting behind Simple, making it possible. And that is going to be time right there for Emmanuel Silva.
Hanafi Bakri in the chat saying, tight park, man. But, I mean, you can really use that to your advantage. Look how many tricks Emmanuel managed to squeeze in there in the latter end of that run. Daniel also saying this dude's got good style too. RKWD BMX saying good speed. Emmanuel getting a lot of love on that final run. Let's take a look at some of the highlights of jam number 5. So there we go, highlights of jam number 5, and there you see Marek Beliak making it into 4th place. The only rider from jam number 5 to make it into the top 8, but there we go, there's the other 3. Andrew Nesterov in 10th, Emmanuel Silva in 12th, and Chris Patrick Tilk in 14th. Top 15 going to be going through to tomorrow's finals, and we hope you'll join us. But right now, it's all about jam number 6. We've got Josh Irvine, Billy Perry, PJ Duchatel, and Tristan Cooper, who are going to be throwing down with 2 runs.
Things are starting to heat up here in jam number 6. If you are just joining us, it doesn't matter if a rider is in the first jam, the 6th jam, or our last jam. You are going to be competing, trying to be one of the top 15 riders that make it into the final. We have 54 of them, and our next rider, first of jam 6, is going to be the Australian Josh Irvine. So psyched Josh is here. It's his 2nd time at Simple Session. Always a big positive energy in BMX. Makes a point to really connect with a lot of friends around the world, and you see the power on that bunny hop ice pick. Just getting a big bunny hop out and having so much control of his bike. Coming back at us with that feeble grind to bar spin. Been putting a lot of emphasis lately on his health. He told me that he's actually been running a lot. And even out here in Estonia, he's been getting up at 5 a.m. or usually riders are out partying until 5 a.m.
Yeah, fully, I was going to say.
So maybe he was playing it off when I saw him at the hotel, right? I'm like, oh, Daryl, I know you're into health, and I was out running, you know, but meanwhile he's smelling like booze and having the time of his life.
Just got back in from the party. Yeah, that must be funny, though. Definitely out here. If he's up at 5, if he's getting up and about and going for a run, maybe he's definitely seeing some of the other riders getting back. That's really funny.
Well, he's doing it for Kamikaze, Demolition, Nabi, also DC Coffee, Skull Candy, and Vans. Irvine right there having some difficulty at the end of his run, but we're all cheering you on. Josh coming from Australia. That is quite a long journey. Brisbane, try to get things done.
Yeah, fully. Last time out here was Simple Session 2020, which was our first time here at Põhjala Factory. So it's great to have him back a few years later.
We're going to move now to the other side of the globe, back to my hometown of New York for our next rider, Billy Perry, doing it for FTL, Insta360, Merit BMX, and Volume Bikes. James, I got to tell you, growing up just outside of New York in Long Island, there's a town, Northport and Greenlawn, that we got a skate park built at many years ago. And one of the younger riders that was there riding, got his start, was Billy Perry. So now, all these years later, to see him develop into a top pro with a great YouTube channel and be here at Simple Session, for me, it's a little bit of a personal, like, that's awesome to see.
Yeah,
you know, because so much of BMX, you want to try to just kind of create those opportunities for riders to build on their own. And right now, Billy Perry is stacking points as he gets so close to having that hang 5 and have that whiplash around with the back wheel.
Almost just needed a little more speed at the end, just caught the back wheel as he came back round.
5 seconds.
Yeah, big shout out to all the riders at Greenlawn. Also can give a shout out to my nephews, Jake and Drew, who cheered Billy Perry on along with all the other riders as Billy's trying to get it together. He's having a good time out here with the whole FTL crew. They put on some of the jams. They're always out riding the streets, charging. If you haven't checked out Billy Perry's YouTube channel, do yourself a favor and definitely do. A lot of fun antics back in New York City and the surrounding areas.
Speaking of FTL as well, let's head over to Paris in France for PJ Duchatel. The first of his 2 runs out here at Simple Session 2023, whipping into the bank, bar spin up, and then double peg down, hopping over.
Another one who's super active on YouTube. PJ doing it for Sunday, Odyssey, FTL Reno, Frenchies, and also Sweet Skandamas. Come on, get that momentum building. Bunny hop bar, double peg.
Just slowing things down slightly so he can get in more obstacles. Do you think the judges will mind that he's taking the speed down a touch if he's getting more tricks in, or?
I mean, one hand washes the other right there. I don't know. It's kind of tomato in between. You know, you get more tricks in. Yeah, you get more tricks in, but like you're saying, maybe they want to see the speed or the control out there. And the fact that he is completely in control, I mean, that does work in his favor. He's not going slow because he's saying, like, oh, I can't go faster, or I got squirrely out there. So PJ did stack a lot of tricks, and I mean, we'll see how they think favor it. But they're going to have to make sense, as we said, 54 riders, 2 runs, 108 runs, and they're going to have to really see what his riding translates to. It's hard to do.
Daniel in the chat saying, I honestly like the size of this course. Sometimes it's more how you use it, you know? So seeing exactly that. Get creative, right? Tristan Cooper, though, coming in for the first of his 2 runs, coming out of Layton, Utah.
So he was saying it's the motion of the ocean. Right there, he's got that over with the quick toothpick on that flat spot of the rail, which was definitely sweet. But you're seeing Tristan Cooper.
Oh, my word.
Yeah.
Nice. Creative line for that flare.
Utah in the house.
Yeah, Tristan.
Shout out to the Utah BMX scene.
Half a minute remaining.
Very pivotal in BMX. Mike Aiken, Tim Fuzzy Hall,
20 seconds.
Cam Wood, Matt Berenger, some of the legends from Utah. Look at this double peg up, that sub.
Double pegger.
Double tire, trying to walk the line right there, not able to go the distance.
Coming off slightly early, but not falling, so managing to keep that speed. Won't get marked down hard from the judges there. Nice, a strong run for Tristan Cooper. Doing it for 50-50 in fuel clothing, GT bikes as well.
That 50-50 BMX.
A strong run for sure to kick things off. We'll keep talking about it. Both runs count out here. And we'll keep talking about it because it's quite unique, and it means the riders are kind of under pressure on both runs. They can't have a throwaway. Everything counts.
Ooh, the big boy with the big hops. There is the bunny hop toothpick hangover. Look at the double peg at us. Josh Irvine on course. Again, traveled all the way from Australia. We have such an international field. Big thing that the riders do have to contend with is jet lag. If you've never traveled internationally, I can tell you it is very difficult.
Speaking of, how are you coping right now, Daryl? How are you feeling? You were saying you're just going to stick on New York time out here, right?
Yeah, I mean, last night I was like, hey, you know, I'm not going to go to the parties that take place. I'm going to kind of behave. I'll go to bed. I'll feel rested today. Well, lo and behold, I got zero sleep because of the jet lag. I would have been better off going to the parties and dance until the sun comes up and seeing Josh Irvine supposedly going out for a run. So, yeah, the jet lag does play a factor, but I'm going to attempt to stay on New York time the whole time. So for everyone in New York, 7 hours ahead here. 7 hours. So that means I'm going to bed around 5 a.m., 6 a.m.
It's kind of the worst time though, right? Because it's like you're, you know, if you're trying to sync up here, it's literally the amount of sleep you'd probably have had for that night. Like, so you're literally, as you're kind of meant to be getting up and going out in the morning, that's when your brain is going, no, I want to go to sleep. So for people like Billy Perry and stuff that are coming out on the same time zone, you know, yeah. You see a lot of the riders coming out here earlier so they can kind of adjust, and that's just something you've got to factor in when you're riding internationally.
But you know, you throw the partying into the mix and everything's thrown off it that way. But right now, Billy Perry is in the zone, looking good for his second run. You see the FTL rider, that t-shirt modeled, you can pick that up. It's his brand that he started with this whole crew. Again, I'm going to give a shout out to the New York riders, especially out at Green Lawn Skate Park in Long Island. So cool to see that helped really facilitate and give a platform for so many future generations to have BMX. Took over 10 years to get that park built, believe it or not. A lot of red tape. And right now, Billy Perry is cutting through. Can he get the hang five? Ah!
Come on, Tallinn.
You see right there, the photographer on course. Endless Mag. Backos down there cheering him on. Let's go. Put your energy collectively out there. Come on, Billy. Come on, Billy. Yes!
Getting it done, and that's just in time as well. Literally landing that just before the buzzer.
I'm getting the messages coming in back home. My nephews, 2 BMX riders, Drew and Jake, hyped right now, saying Billy Perry getting it done. Obviously, local rider, they look up to him, they're psyched. I'm psyched. It's very cool to see. Full moment, Billy Perry just nailing it right there.
Yeah, loads of love in the chat as well. Nico saying nice. Gas Monkey saying hell yeah with loads of fire emojis. Daniel saying oi oi oi. JB, let's go Billy. Yeah, loads of love coming in, loads of love. So, we are back in with PJ Duchatel coming out of Paris. Strong 15 seconds to begin. Like we say though, definitely hitting the park a little slower. Taking that feeble 180 down into the bank. And then there's the double peg, 180 out as well. But this is it, like we say, you know, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. You're not necessarily hitting it with as much speed, but you're managing to hit every obstacle on the way through. But I think that's it. If you are going slower, you need to use everything.
Yeah, and you got to be in control, right? And look at that. You got to be in control. That's the main thing. And we're not seeing any out of controlness from PJ, even though he didn't get that one kind of coming off that crook grind, but still he's in control, and that's an important thing, regardless of your speed.
Yeah. Bringing the good vibes as well. Amazing. That is the second of 2 runs for PJ Duchatel.
PJ riding for Sunday Bikes. Going to give a shout out to Nuno and Jim Bauer and all the boys down in Austin, Texas, running Sunday and Odyssey. Right now, though, going back over to GT, Layton, Utah, 27 years old, Tristan Cooper. Eddie Buckley, 50-50 bikes, psyched on his rider, big wall ride going that distance. Bar spin at speed.
This course is almost not
transfer in. Where's he going? Nose bonk. All right, all right. So, James, when you jump that hitching post, you got to get your distance right to go into the landing. And if you're able to bonk your wheel like that, just a little bit more precise. You can hit that front wheel, but then you got to make sure that you're able to still catch that transition and not fly past it and land flat. And we saw Tristan look really smooth on that re-entry.
Yeah, we actually saw Jaws in the skating earlier do a 360 over the hitching post. Just take it to flat. He just missed the whole transition, rode it out. So, yeah, super precise from Tristan getting that one back into the transition there. 5 seconds on the clock for him. The final run of jam number 6. And that's it. What's he going for? Yeah, just the 3 down. And he's happy with that.
Nice, Tristan. Get a lot of people checking in on the chat. Rebecca saying Josh does not drink, talking about Irvine in the running. I'll tell you this, I've seen riders say I never partied before, and they come here to Estonia and all bets are off. We are known for some of the legendary parties. If you haven't followed us on Instagram, do so. It's just at Simple Session. You can see all the behind the scenes, but right now we're going to check out Josh Irvine and all of our riders' highlights from jam number 6.
So there we go. Highlights from jam number 6 of the BMX qualifiers at Simple Session 2023. Sadly, none of those 4 making it into the top 8, but there we go. Billy Perry getting into 9th, the highest placed rider of jam number 6 with a 45.18. Top 15 riders going through to the finals tomorrow. So Billy is going to have to sit and wait to see if he gets bumped out. We've got a lot of riders to go.
Yeah, the closer you are to that bubble spot of 15, you are biting your nails as you watch the riders progress.
And we have jam number 7. Before we take a short break, we've got Martin Seaman, Max Klusianik, Alvaro Esquivel, and Yuna Pajari.
Out of Finland. Beautiful shot here on the street course at the
Martin going to get things going for us. You can see
soon we are welcoming
a nice angle looking out over the park. Guys getting that last little bit of warm-up before they're kicked off the course. And Martin is going to get things going for us.
It's the first time here at Simple Session. Garrett Reynolds shouted him out on a recent episode of Dig. Canode knows what's up, Dig. Bobby, something tells you about a rider, it's definitely going to be Dig and Canode. So here we go, coming back at us, Crooked Grind bar spin. We're seeing a couple solid hits right now for Martin.
Recently joined the Fiend crew as well.
A little unlucky for that short combination, but no problem. He has 3/4
doing it for Cinema TBB bike. All right, charging back, double peg, ice down, looking for a potential bar spin right there. You can see when a rider sets up, you got to get a bunny hop out of the rail, get your weight proper. He wasn't able to toss the bars. See, I like the way he even rode over the hip right there. Yes, great way to have a nollie off the stage, but you can tell when a rider really has the control, when they basically can do something as simple as just rolling over a hip, but you just see that they got that style. And right now, Martin is definitely oozing some style. Let's see if he can make something happen. Oof.
Vertical Berger saying full rips. Like that.
Yeah, right there. He's looking for maybe an ice pick to 180. It's hard to do. You got to get your weight back, find that balance part, and still get that spin. So he just wound up tipping it and dumping it.
We are going to cruise from Martin as well to Max Klusienic, coming out of Poland, 24 years old, 4th simple session, 2019 with his first. And he says his favorite rider is Dan Lacey. Feels pretty inspired, opening things up with that feeble 360. Coming back in with that crank arm grinds. Oh, and just slipping out. Back peg slipping off the edge of the ledge there.
Doing it for Cult Crew, Etni's local heroes, Av BMX.
360 from Max.
All right.
That's 30 seconds, 30 seconds.
Getting that crooked grind 180 out. Ooh. Trying to get that tooth 180 right there. That rail is so high. So James, when you get that bunny hop and you wind up hitting your peg and you swing the back end around, you got to get that so much higher to clear the rail. And you saw he wound up just hanging up. Takes a lot of strength, especially endurance, and you're, about 40 seconds into your run.
That means we are taking
A lot of the riders too, if they're just getting the kind of first times at contests and just getting it down, this is his fourth time, so maybe he's getting a little bit more of that experience, but you still got all those nerves that are pumping around. Our next rider who's coming on course, last year was his first time. If you're hearing the energy get a little bit louder, that's because our Costa Rican rider, Alvaro Esquivel, really made a name for himself. He just snuck into the finals, made it in, and then did really well and surprised everyone with crazy nose manual combos that he really just kind of kicked his career off. He wound up coming here with no money in his pocket, said, hey, I'm going to just put it all on the line, believe in myself, and then he wound up just building some sponsors. He's riding for Cult Crew, and his career in BMX has just been picking up, and you see right there, going for a no-footed nose manual across the driveway.
Yeah, amazing to see. Jump Live hyped for Alvaro in the comments down below. Yeah. Amazing stuff, man.
Alvaro with that.
Coming back up towards the quarter, yeah, getting up round to that vert section. Couldn't quite see the ledge there, but linking that up by the pyramid. Bar spin in off the big Red Bull edge on that hip. Whip in over the hip as well. Final 5 seconds.
Manual.
Can he do it?
180.
Yes. So there you go. Manual 180. And playing the energy of the crowd as well, which is so cool that we do have that platform. So Alvaro last year, like I said, made it to the finals. He said it's my dream to come here to Simple Session, and to be one of the riders that qualifies is such a big deal. Felt like we had all of Costa Rica behind him, cheering him on. And again, that kicked off his career in a lot of ways.
Yeah, Guy says loved that run. And James Andre says dope run too. Coming in now though, Una Pajeri coming out of Finland.
Una always a favorite here, and you'll see why. 360 all the way to flat, doing it for Stone Street. Powerful rider, but also has the grace to match. Ooh, big combos right there.
Una, someone that has been a Simple Session for a few years now.
After that lucky grind.
Yeah, tooth hanger off the high rail. I don't want to know how close that was to the cameraman. The cameraman's been doing great work out there today, having to avoid everyone. Just a little too over the front coming off that.
15 seconds, 15 seconds.
Got 10 seconds to work. Going to give this time to give a shout out to everyone watching on all of our platforms around the world. Also want to just highlight though, the Simple Session YouTube channel. We've got so much content from the 23 years of history of Simple Session. It's so cool to have a library like that you could go back and see the history. You could see all the different, not only BMX events, skateboarding events, some of the parties, behind the scenes interviews. So check out our YouTube channel. If you happen to be on there as well in the chat, we want to hear from you. Let us know who you're cheering on, what you're thinking of the competition so far. You hear James and I giving some reference and calling it out, so you can join that conversation as well.
100%. Joe Dinano saying, loving it so far. Thank you very much, Joe. We are loving it too. Martin coming back in for the second of his 2 runs. Yeah, nice, taking the bar out. That rail, the high Simple Session rail to one side. Ice.
Buttery smooth ice pick to bar spin across that whole rail. Kept the front end up. And then toss those bars right here. Coming back down, double peg, ice pick, bar spin. Three-piece combo.
Really got those ice bars dialed. Coming back over for the hit. Yeah, nice.
As we mentioned, Garrett Reynolds, Fiend, that's Reynolds' company.
20 seconds to go.
If you haven't checked out a Fiend BMX bike, make sure you do. You can find it on their Instagram or through Garrett Reynolds' Instagram. Fiend makes some of the quality BMX products out there. Shout out to Bob, helping run the brand with Garrett. Boom, getting a pound right there. So that was his first run, first time here at Simple Session. Martin Simon.
Back to you,
Making it happen as well.
Back to you, buddy.
And do you know what James saying in the chat? Proper chill session and hanging out with the homies, loving your work, Simple Session. That's kind of how it is this afternoon, right? Qualifiers, we've got hours of BMX in. So yeah, kick back. You're part of this wherever you are in the world. And Max Klusianik coming out of Poland in for his second run at the moment.
Crank arm slide. 360 from the top bank into the lower bank. That's what I'm talking
Nice.
about.
You saw he grinded on either side of that rail right there, utilizing the 4 pegs. And there we go. Nice and clean. Getting that tooth 180. It was a little hard to see from our perspective. Let us know in the chat. You think he caught his crank arm right there on that 180 out? Either way, it was nice and smooth. And we're going to highlight again, if we don't see something or can't call it from our perspective, we got 3 amazing judges committed to BMX, lifetime riders. They got 6 eyeballs, and they're making sure every single one of these tricks goes towards a rider's overall impression.
We're occasionally seeing our judges as well. We've got like Judge Cam that occasionally pops up on the feed. Those guys aren't watching the screen. They are literally looking at the contest from the best spot in the house. They look out over the whole park. Where we are right now, you can see they're just on the left, just here from the cable cam. Where that brickwork is, they sit up there. They see everything.
So if you are watching at home, let this be a lesson to you. Come join us at Simple Session 24. Alvaro, a few years ago, said, I've never been, it's my dream. He figured out his passport, he booked a ticket, came here, he entered the contest. He's made friends internationally and helped make a name for himself. Alvaro Esquivel dropping in and tossing the bars on that bunny hop bar spin. 25 years old, representing Cult Crew. I had a chance to talk to Cult owner Robbie Morales about Alvaro last year. I said, hey man, this kid is on it. He is ripping, and Robbie's like, I'm already on it. We got him stuff going from Costa Rica, the distributor, but I'll talk to him, and boom, things just keep building and growing. So that's what's cool about Simple Session, giving riders a platform like Alvaro right there as he gets that hang 5 whiplash with the back end.
Love that gutsy move to throw him right at the end as well. You saw Billy Perry, he was like, okay, I'm going to save that till the end of my run. Granted, it was coming off the drop, but he was like, I'm going to save that till the end of my run because it's a big, big trick. Alvaro's just like, no, mid-run, let's go. Let's keep it going.
10 seconds, 10 seconds. 5 remaining.
There we go, taking, just coming off slightly on the bar spin, but I don't think that's going to hurt him too much. Final trick, yeah, wrapping Colt. Awesome to see.
Krez, thank you for verifying that in the chat. That was a crank arm for sure on that Tooth 180. I love it. And yes, Van Homan is here in the building, lighting that chat up. You guys know Van Homan is one of the most legendary street riders who helped push modern day street riding. Van's a lifelong friend of mine. We had a chance to make our first BMX video together when we were 12 years old called Trailblazing. That kicked off his career, and right now Van is cheering on our rider Juna Pajuri from Finland, 26 years old. Power and style being combined as he does that big combination right there.
Double pegger 180. You name it, he's got it. The Finnish rider fully locked in, fully zoning.
Halfway mark, let's see it. All right, and right there from that perspective, that looked like a crank arm getting touched as well. A lot of action happening off the end of the rail. Let's see if Juna can keep things together.
15 seconds.
Taking the tooth hanger
Fans are going nuts here.
down the end of the rail.
10 seconds.
Looking like he's going for something big for his ender.
3, 2.
Nice.
Cool in time. Unipajari rounding out heat number 7 of the qualifiers. Coming out of Finland, absolute powerhouse. And we'll see who from jam number 7 makes it to the finals. Let's check out some of the highlights. So there we have it, the highlights from jam number 7 of the BMX qualifiers here at Simple Session 2023. We're going to be taking a brief break in a moment. Good chance for you to grab yourselves some drinks, some snacks, go stretch those legs. And we're just waiting for the scores. As you can see, the judges there chatting, deliberating. When I was mentioning the judges platform looking out over the park, that's their spot, best view in the house. Punching in scores into the iPads right now.
The current leaderboard.
Are we going to see any shake-ups at the top of the leaderboard? And we do. Okay, switch-ups in the top 5. Alvaro Escobar taking 4th place. Unipajari just behind him in 5th. And Martin Seaman in 8th. So that is your top 8, getting a big old shake-up. As we head into the second half of the jam, Max Klusianek in 17th rep in Poland. And that is how our 28 riders that we've had so far in qualifiers stack up. Like I say, grab yourself some drinks, some snacks, and we'll catch you very shortly for the remainder of the BMX qualifiers at Simple Session 2023.
remaining, guys. 1.5 minutes remaining. One minute extra for heat number 8. Bora Altintas, Mati Lasgoiti, Gaspar Gwendoline, and Miguel Smali. All others disappear, please, in 1.5 minutes. Except Bora Altintas, Mati Lasgoiti, Gaspar Gwendoline, and Miguel Smali. Except Bora Altintas, Mati Lasgoiti, Gaspar Gwendoline, and Miguel Smali. You guys have another 60 seconds.
All right, welcome back to the BMX qualifiers at Simple Session 2023. I'm James Threlford alongside Darryl now, and we are ready to get into jams 7 to 14. We've got the guys doing the Estonian commentary next door. Give us a wave, guys. There we go. Yeah, if you are wanting to catch Estonian commentary, that's going down as well. But man, jam 7, 1 to 7 were absolutely popping. We're ready to go with the remainder, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're in Jam 1 or Heat 1, Heat 8 or Heat 14. You're going to be competing against all of the riders, 54 in total. We're only taking 15 into the finals, which will be taking place here tomorrow, and things are heating up.
100%. Jam number 8 is going to see Bora Altintas, Mati Lasgoiti, Gaspar Gwendoline, and Miguel Smajli as well. So, yeah, 4 absolute heavy hitters to get the second half of this going, man. We've been seeing so much love for Bora in the chat as well, and he's going to be kicking things off for us out here with the first of his 2 runs. Both runs count. If you are just joining us, that is important to stress. It is not best run. Both runs are being considered. The judges are going for overall impression.
Yeah, that overall impression needs to be a good one. We have 3 judges, Tom Sillins, Marcus Vilke, Bart de Jong, who are going to give a numeric value to our riders. 0 to 100 is your potential score. Again, the top 15 will advance to our finals. This is Simple Session 23, which is unbelievable to think that we have 23 years of history in this event. It's known as one of the premier BMX competitions, and skating as well, in the world. Normally, our course brings out all different style of riders, and we're seeing that again. This is an all-terrain course. This isn't a street contest. It's not a park. All different styles are being represented here on this course designed by Nate Wessel.
And Bora absolutely coming out swinging already. Worth kind of remembering, like, history of Bora. Like, he got on Red Bull actually at Simple Session, pretty much at Simple Session 2020. So it's great to have him kind of his career just like blossoming since then.
Yeah, when a rider is riding for Red Bull, you know that they are a top athlete in the world. He's also riding for Dockers, BSD Forever, Vans, and the Space Brace. So you can see those Dockers right there. I'm going to give a shout out to Matthias Dandois, the 9-time world champion flatland rider, who's a big fan of BMX. And I'd love to actually see Matthias out here riding. Let's put that in there. I'm going to give Matthias a call and try to get him here at Simple Session 24. Let's make a note.
I mean, it's a special year next year, right?
Yeah, we're going to be out in Tartu, 24th, 25th in August. It's the European City of Culture.
Yeah.
I mean, who's more cultured in Europe than Matthias? He's an international superstar. Let's get him out there next year. But right now on course, our next rider looking to take it down, Fiend rider, Primo the Cut Dub, Mati Lasgoiti.
coming out of Argentina. This is his 7th time at Simple Session. Got one of the best nose mannies in the game.
Now living out in Barcelona, he's got his own BMX school. If you want to get coached by one of the best, also build some ramps, this man does it all. Bar spin up, tail whip down. Good combination, but it's the confidence. He's able to pop that flip 180.
Losing the hat as he goes upside down, managing to take that round to nose manny as well. And here's another nose manny.
Oh!
Yes, linking that one up nicely.
Look at you giving a little preview of that nose manual, and we're seeing it being put to good use right here. 25 seconds. See what he's got. Again, riding for Fiend. That is Garrett Reynolds' company. Bob Pratt, big shout out to Bob, helping run the brand with Garrett. Core BMX company. Matty having a little bit of difficulty there, but you do see that smile under those curly locks.
Cool thing is about Matty that he, as well as being a rider to the standard he is, also runs a BMX school for kids. So always giving back and kind of pushing the next generation. Got a smile on his face. And like I say, kind of like a bit of a Simple Session regular, 7 years deep now.
Yeah, if you are looking to get into BMX and you're anywhere in the Barcelona area, definitely look up Matty Lastoidi, give him a look on Instagram and figure it out.
Up next though, coming in off the battleship. Which way is he gonna go? Gaspar Gwendolan.
Gaspar doing it for BSD Vans, one place. He is such a well-rounded rider. Just missed the final last year, 18th place. Let's see if he can move up a couple spots and be.
Oh, dang. Heavy place to try and start.
That is unfortunate.
Richard going off in the chat with his love for Gaspar.
I feel the same way, Richard. Gaspar is so exciting, and look at that right there. All right, riders, that's one of those things. Let us know in the chat. Would you call that a decade, or would you call that a downside 3-whip? Kind of met it right in the middle right there. He wrapped around the head tube. So you tell us, because I'm going to say it was somewhere in between. It was a hybrid. And those are the times when you ask a rider like Gaspar, and you go, what are you asking me? I'm just doing it. I don't care. It's a trick.
Well,
what the name is, but I want to know. You guys tell us.
Irma Vandal says it's a human bar spin. So there we go.
All right, James is saying it's a down whip. Jack Evans, down whip.
Yeah, Laura Martin saying, yeah, do you know what? Human bar spin. Let's go with that. Let's just switch it up. We've got a whole new name for it out here.
Defo down whip.
Yeah.
Legit. All right. Well, if we did have the replays, that is somewhere that hybrid.
So Gaspar Gwendolan getting his first run done. Miguel Smadgley, though, coming in for his first. And apparently he literally got into BMX by randomly running into a contest in his hometown and just fell in love. And has been riding now for over 12 years.
Also, music inspires him on the mic.
Yeah, he's a rapper as well, right?
He is indeed. Well, look at that right there. Talk about the creativity on that bottom bracket, front wheel across the stage. Yeah, pressing in, no brakes on his bike, finding that sweet spot to get the balance point. You see he hits the up rail with his back peg, 2 pegs on the side, and he's utilizing them as he goes for that manual right there, dropping in on that quarter pipe.
20 seconds to go. Is he calling time on that? He's called time early. Called time early. So that will take us back to the top of the list for Bora Altintas.
So riders, again, start planning next year, right? If you haven't been, get your passport. That's step number 1. You want to see the world anyway. That's the cool part about BMX. You want to go outside your country. You want to see the world. So start now. Apply. It takes a little while. You don't have to rush to get the extra fees in your country for the speed passport. Just apply. Pull up a tab. How do I get a passport? All right. Step 1. Step 2, start looking into the price of flights. You could ballpark it, but put a number behind it. Let's say it's $1,000 to fly here if you're coming from the other side of the world. Maybe it's half that. All right, now you got a dollar value behind it, right? You need a date. We already told you. Tartu, 24th, 25th of August. Now your plans come into fruition because James and I want to see you here in person cheering on Bora next year.
100%.
Right now he's got that bar spin, thrown in both directions. I love the way that he just caught that bar. Look at the double peg. 360, that's the power from the hop. Again, a bunny hop 3 off a double peg. Harder to do because you can't get as much of the pop with your leg and upper body. It's not as springy as the tires. Whoa, there you go, throwing that flare right there.
15 seconds.
Showing you he's a comfortable transition rider, unfortunately dumping out the back.
Final 5 seconds. He's got time to squeeze something in. Might have to be on the court if he is. Yep, gets that quick whip in. And that is time for Bora Altintas at Simple Session 2023.
Coming from Turkey. He didn't have a proper skate park. His dad actually helped build one, and it's cool to see, again, just the foundations of BMX, how many of these riders are ambassadors trying to get the younger generation involved. So if you're a rider out there, extend a hand to somebody in your local that you see is maybe trying to get into BMX or learn. And if you've never rode, because you're like, hey, I was checking out Simple, maybe you skate, maybe you didn't even know this popped up on the TV, you can start riding yourself. You can get a bike. You don't have to do these crazy tricks. You find a skate park and you start there. You got to crawl before you can walk and before you can double tire ride down that rail like Matty Lascoiti right there. Round rail, round tires, very hard to do, so precise.
Speaking of as well, like wanting to get into riding, I was saying just before, Matty Lascoiti has his own BMX school. He's inspiring the next generation. And literally helping them as well through, teeth hanger popping over after.
Yeah, so much of BMX and skating is all about DIY, do-it-yourself culture. So if you don't have any spots to ride, you can build them in your own town. Find somewhere, find an abandoned parking lot, maybe under a bridge or some space that's kind of unique, you have some fun energy at, and just start building stuff. It doesn't take, look, sheet of plywood, a couple cinder blocks, right? That's how most kids start jumping their first thing. I know that's what I did. And then going for that nose manual. And then you can might get a little bit more advanced, start trying to pour some concrete, maybe you find some wood, next thing you know, people are throwing it out, and then you got yourself a DIY skate park. So regardless if you got your dad, like Bora did, helping out, or you said, hey, me and my mates are just gonna build something, you got this.
That's the brotherhood, the camaraderie here in BMX Street.
So here we go, coming in for run number 2. Also coming out of Argentina, like Matty, Gaspar Gwendolan.
Ready for this second visit to course.
Someone, Taco, has said, not gonna lie, Darryl needs a YouTube channel. Man can motivate the beach to buy sand. I could not agree more. Could not agree more.
You both are making me blush up here. I appreciate that very much. But right now, all eyes are focused on Gaspar. Let's see what he's going to bring us for his second flavor out here. Getting that quick nose balance. 360, grabbing the transition, which I love. Double tire up on that pillar. You see, he also has that free coaster. A lot of our riders know the reason that has become so popular in modern day is because there's been improvements in that technology. Years ago, you had Bruce Chrismond, who is a pioneer with the free coaster going backwards, doing some street moves. Before that, you had Kurt Schmidt, Rick Malterno in the standard days. Dave Freimuth played with it a little bit, but that was mainly on a mini ramp. And right there, Gaspar jumping over, getting that grind coming down. Unfortunately, not probably getting the full pull that he wanted to do with all of his tricks out there, but my fingers are crossed because he's an exciting one to watch, and I know he can turn it up if he's in that final.
Yeah, I mean, this is it, right? The only advantage to qualifying higher is that you get to see the other riders, right? If you get favorable position for tomorrow, you get to see the other riders go first. But outside of that, all you want to do today is get that top 15, right? If you achieve that, you're in. So we will keep fingers crossed that Gaspar does that. Miguel kicking off run 2 in fine style. Oh, hanging on there as well. Getting loose.
Gaspar in 21 did make the final. So did Samalji. Miguel was in there in 21. Let's see if he can do it again. 270 with the bar. Bar spin, tire tap. Oh, I think he wanted that manual, but you got to get in that sweet spot if you don't have the brake to feather the manual. Let's see if he's going to go again. Watch the knees and the body weight. Drops down.
There
he
he
has
is.
to adjust so he doesn't loop out.
10 seconds, Miguel.
And he's calling time on that early.
All right, it looks like he's having
Miguel
a good game. Thank you
Smadgley.
very much. Miguel Smalley and
Coming out of Germany.
number 8.
So we will see
You're going to see some highlights on
whether
the screen.
those guys can put themselves into final contention. That wraps up jam number 8, and here are some highlights. So there we have it, the highlights from jam number 8 here at the BMX qualifiers of Simple Session 2023. And there we go, shaking up the leaderboard. Gaspar Gwendolan slotting himself into 3rd place with a 59.66, and Borat Altintas just behind with a 58.66. Matti Lasgoiti also sneaking himself in to the top 15 in 12th with a 53.5.
And Billy Perry on that bubble spot in 15th, meaning if any rider gets a higher score than Billy, he will be bumped out because 15 will go on to the finals. If you're just joining us, this is Simple Session 23. My name is Daryl, now lifetime rider, and I'm joined by a lifetime skater and Simple Session fan, James Threlfall, who is a badass when it comes to skating and also commentating. He's actually skated in this competition for, what was it,
2014 to 2020, I think. I ran out the commentary booth in 2020 and skated my run, and yeah, I haven't done that since, but yeah, I haven't skated the setup since we've been at the Põhjala Factory, and I need to. I'd like to do
love that. And that's what's the cool thing about BMX and skating. It's all about doing your own thing and having friends, and it doesn't matter if you're on a bike or a board. Because also in this heat, we do have some riders that do double duty, and we will definitely be talking about that. But right now, the energy is going to get wrapped up and ramped up for our first rider.
Yeah, jam number 9, Filipakos Buff. And in this jam, we've also got Joe Jarvis, Benny Gonzalez, and Antonio Chavez.
So much power, so much energy.
Filipakos getting things going, though. The first of his 2 one-minute runs.
This bike around.
Yeah, big rider, a lot of power. Look at the precision right there. I spoke too soon, getting that whip from the double tie ride after the double peg, putting that together hard on that rail. He was the winner at the 2021 Best Trick with a lucky grind to hard whip. Nickname Hercules, that's why I was talking about the power. Wall ride charging back, throttle pin back, going up. All the way to flat right there. Big 360.
2, 1, and it's time.
So Athens, Greece in the house. Dub BMX, HVN Clothing. Sabrosa brand Shadow Conspiracy. Going to give a shout out to Ron Bonner down in Florida and Ryan Scher, 2 men behind both of those brands, Shadow Conspiracy and Sabrosa. Right now, the party people are in the house, standing loud and proud, because we've got UK's Joe Jarvis ready to take to the course.
If you are familiar with Formula One and Daniel Ricciardo, you might know he does what's called a shoey, where he pours a beer in his shoe and downs it. Joe Jarvis was doing that the other night at one of the parties, and then launched his shoe across the party. And here he is today, riding qualifiers and getting things going in a big way as well. Coming out of Northwich
Jarvis
in England.
Riding for Federal Bikes, Substance BMX, and 70s Distro. What's up, Colin and Stu Dawkins, the 2 men behind the brand Federal, cheering on their rider. Jarvis, always a favorite out here, because Simple Session is about more than just BMX and skating. It's the lifestyle, it's the party, it's the friendship, and Jarvis always gets a full pull at all of those things. You might see a rider try to maximize 60 seconds on the clock like Jarvis is doing, but he'll definitely maximize that dance floor till last call. Here we go, final thought. Final thought, 360 to flat.
Great opening run for Jarvis. Jump Life on the chat saying Joe Jarvis is an animal. An animal. Simple Session have actually jumped in on the chat themselves as well, saying Joe Jarvis in the building. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Dang straight. If you saw last year, 22, or go onto our Instagram and check it out. We got photos of Joe Jarvis partying in the hot tub. He is doing it all. A rider that does it all. We're talking about Benny Gonzalez, 22 years old, super stylish, doing it for Vans, Sabrosa, and Shadow. Talk about a well-rounded rider. Skating, scootering, snowboarding, and BMX. There's not a thing that Benny can't do and make it look good. Toothpick hangover to crank arm grind. Bar spin, Smith stall. Had a chance to talk with Benny. Excited to go check out Fashion Week in Paris. Next time it's in New York, we're gonna hang out. Benny was rocking a Telfar bag, who's a longtime friend of mine from New York. And it's cool to see the style on and off the bike, getting that 360 to fakie. Feeble. Come on, Benny. They've got 14 seconds to work with.
Their first time out here at Simple Session, and Essek in the chat saying Benny got the style and the steez.
Indeed. Also rocking the shorts right there. Hard to do. Not a lot of padding or protection, especially with those whips. Big ups to Benny, getting the high five there from Jarvis. So even though this is a competition, there is that rider camaraderie. This is definitely a very core event. Riders want to see each other bring their A game, bring their best, but also have fun while doing it.
Very, very impressive.
So the 4th rider of jam number 9, taking the first of 2 runs, coming out of Chandler, Arizona. It's actually been a couple of years since he was here in Tallinn. Last time he rode it, it was still in the Saku Surhau. It's Antonio Chavez. Oh, the height on that bar spin off the rail as well.
Yeah, getting some height on that wall ride as well to visit Estonia wall and trying to go the distance on that nose manny. Fiend, Vans, Primo, Shreddy Life.
30 seconds remaining.
Good style on that whip. Cleanly put the feet back on the pedals. A lot of times you'll see riders kind of scramble a little bit, maybe stomp on the crank arms, but that was nice and clean. Sole to pedal connection. Double bar spin 2 times on that 270.
Or 360.
15 seconds on the clock.
15 seconds to go, Antonio.
Coming around, final 5 seconds. What's Antonio got? Ah, nice. Big way to finish. Run number 1 of jam number 9 rounded out. That one was for the fans. Antonio Chavez getting it done.
Also slightly handicapped in here, was missing his
A super strong jam that.
first 2 days, massive shout
9 of 14, so many riders to get through today. We've got some incredible names. So yeah, people that are on the bubble a little bit of that top 15 we're going to take through to finals tomorrow. Maybe getting a little bit shaky.
Whenever you're ready.
Yeah, the way it generally works here, we tend to have some of our returning champions or placing higher in the years prior go a little bit later in the day. There is a certain randomness to how riders are qualified, but also it's select versus or finishes from 2022, sometimes even years prior to that. So as we continue through our qualifying, you're going to see it build a little bit, potentially in energy, but at the same time, it doesn't matter if you're in Heat 1 or our last heat, you're still competing against the other 54 riders.
Yeah, so back to the top of the bill for jam number 9. Philippakos Baf coming out of Athens. Best trick winner in Simple Session 2021.
Baff with that long ice pick, double 180. Come on, Hercules, let's go. Dig deep, get that power.
How gangster would you feel if, like, your nickname was Hercules? I'd feel, what? Like I made it, man.
Better start eating those vitamins right now. Look at that, trying to do that 720. Ooh, I think he just smashed his knee on that stem. Perfect time to talk about that BSD stem. What do you think of that, Grant Smith, the owner of the company? Let's get a zoom in on that stem if possible.
Amazing. What was it that caused the injury? Do you mind just showing us? Oh, right there. Nice.
Well, I think that was Hercules right there. He probably just put a dent right in that stem.
Amazing. So that's both runs for Philippakos Baf, aka Hercules. Sending a shout out to Rich Cowards, who's watching in England right now.
All right.
RKWD BMX says need to stem prayers for that man.
All right, the shirt comes off, the energy goes up, and right now, Joe Jarvis on course.
We had a message saying taking a shirt off equals it's done. Here we go, Joe Jarvis is in. Yes.
Come on, Jarvis, let's go, baby, keep it together. Oh, that was clean right there. Joe Jarvis focused.
So hard, so difficult, so technical.
You know, my dad had a chance to check out the feed the other year, and he said Jarvis was one of his favorites because this man likes to party and have a good time, and we're seeing Jarvis right now be extremely focused. Can he keep it together? 20 seconds, James. This is a great run so far.
Jarvis might love the party, but he is absolutely bringing it to the qualifiers today.
Come on, 10 seconds. Yo, gap into the double peg with that 360.
Final trick. Yeah, taking that to ice. Oh, he's going to get something in on this hip as well. There we go. And 3 for good measure just to finish it off. After time, what a couple of runs for Joe Jarvis.
Wow, big ups to Jarvis. Again, I'm going to mention that he's riding for Federal Bikes. I know Stu Dawkins is hyped right there. I got to tell you, we're not judges, but I think that might shake the score and the board up a little bit.
Some big claims coming in the chat. Nico saying best run so far. RKWD BMX, damn, he might be in first after this. Jump Life saying, wow, Jarvis landed everything.
All right, on course, Benny Gonzalez, bunny hop bar spin. I love that Benny has been breaking down so many barriers out there. Oh, having some difficulty on that nose press. Come on, Benny. Come on, Benny.
Coming out of Long Beach, California. Like we say, their first time at Simple Session, making their debut.
Benny is a non-binary person who likes to just push things forward. Again, whether it's bike, skateboard, scooter, snowboard, open to it all. If you're out there, and I was actually talking with Benny before the event, if you're out there, maybe you're struggling with any of those topics or conversations, Benny said, hey, I'm open. Shoot a DM, shoot a message, make a friend, chat, and Benny's there to help you out. Right now, Benny is on the course. Come on, 5 seconds to go. Gonna throw it up and wave out. So Benny right there having a little difficulty on run number 2. But I love what they put down. You see that Sabrosa shirt and shadow. Again, shout out to Ron Bonner, Ryan Scher down in Florida, BMX Brands. support the brands that support riders. Antonio Chavez, USA, back here after taking a break for a few years when we were in the arena, and now getting an opportunity to check out Põhjala Factory, our third year here, first time for Chavez.
Yeah, very different, right? If you're used to riding simple session when it's at the Sakusahal, the big arena where, like we were talking about earlier, things are a bit more spaced out. If you're used to that, and then you come over to the slightly tighter park of the Põhjala Factory, it's a very different vibe. Like we say, it's a much more compact park. You got to link those lines together and get real creative.
Here we go. Is he going for it again?
Antonio Chavez having the final run of jam number 9.
There you go, the Pringles stack popping out the top after that nose manual going the distance. Yeah, Chavez nose press from the feeble with the bar spin.
Time for one more if he's quick, and the whip over the hip is gonna finish things off for jam number 9. A super heavy jam, and are we going to have a new leader? Lots of predictions. Let us know in the comments. What do you think? Is Joe Jarvis going to the top spot? We'll find out. But first, we're going to see some highlights.
Everyone for some drinks.
So there we go, highlights from jam number 9 at Simple Session 2023. We've got calls for Joe Jarvis for Prime Minister of the UK in the chat. It's a big claim. I mean, that would be an interesting UK. We'd end up with Joe Jarvis as Prime Minister, but I'm here for it. I think that could be good fun.
That's a country I would want to be living in with Jarvis at the helm. You see our 3 judges. You also saw off screen dancing, taking a 2-step. That was our in-field MC, Andy the Z-Man Zeiss. And look at this, boom! We have a new leader, potential Prime Minister, Joe Jarvis. 73 even, up in that top spot.
Smashing it. Man, look at that. Look how clear he is as well. A full 8 points. Incredible. Joe Jarvis, new leader. You guys were calling it in the chat. Yeah, Joe Jarvis. Could he be first place qualifier today? We got some heavy hitters coming up. So we'll have to see.
Time will tell if that's the case, but we also have our defending champion, Boyd Hilder, who was not taking the course. We got 4 more jams yet to ride. Look at this, Parker Heath, Santiago Laverde, Stuart Chisholm, and Alex Heim. 4 very unique styles, all from different parts of the globe, and they now are gonna try to get a 74 or higher. They're gonna have 2 runs. It's gonna be the same overall impression, so they're both going to count. Our first rider from San Diego, California, doing it for Demolition, GT, and Etnies. Last time riding Simple was back in 21. He's definitely a transition-focused rider, and he's got the good looks. He models when he's not on the bike. This is Parker Heath.
For Parker Heath.
Parker is always a good friend to have when you're traveling. He's down for the adventure. And right now, first rider we saw up on that sub with the pegs, that is. X-up stall on the Radio Bikes sub box. We saw that Fufanu attempt earlier, but Parker checking in with this front wheel, that foot jam on the wall, and a suicide no-hander. It's different than that tuck no-hander, because James, you're not going to just put the bars in your lap. You're going to pinch the seat with the knees to keep that front end up. Oh, there you go.
Big gap to that last section of the kink down rail there.
I'm going to give a shout out to Joe Kowalski, aka the Butcher, first rider to really bring X-up grinds to the street. You know him as a Bethlehem, Pennsylvania legend. Rode for Animal Bikes, ECD will never die, and we are seeing the one-hand X-up across the driveway, going for that 540. Parker is looking dialed, might I say. What's up, Ben Ward again, picking the good riders out there. GT being represented.
Someone that can definitely mix it up between that transition and street. Perfect for a park like this, where you've got to get creative, you've got to find those lines. Yeah, sure, there's those obvious rails in the mix, but then look, there's so many that overview kind of shows you how many kind of different lines and gaps that you can hit.
All right, our next rider, if you haven't had an opportunity to witness Santiago Laverde, originally from Medellin, Colombian, now living in Barcelona, doing it for Kink, The Cut, Odyssey, and Vans, you are in for an absolute treat. He has some of the best crank arm slides in BMX, dare I say, and you're going to see potentially why. Let's go on the course, transfer with the bar spin, and cutting across. Boom! Big tabletop. What's up, Tablelords, the Instagram feed that highlights some of the best tabletops in the game, and that one is potentially worthy of that post out there mid-contest.
Love that he did that as well on the quarter that sits right in front of where all the other riders are chilling. So if there's anyone left to go, they've just watched an absolutely huge table just thrown in their faces. Like, have some of this, guys. Yeah. Have some of this.
Take a look at this kink bottom bracket, because I'm just going to lay this bad boy over and show you what's up. 19 seconds. Let's see where he's going to go. I have a feeling. Oh, checking in with that Pringles stack right there, getting tubular.
Worth mentioning as well, he finished 10th at Simple Session 22. So if he can replicate that today, he'll be seeing himself through to the final, and he's on good course for that with this first run. Both runs count, though.
Oh, hey-oh. There you go, popping that flare. Now, I never want to call a rider out for their riding. I thought we might see something on that long rail, and I'm only saying this because I don't think he got the credit deserves. Last year in 22, we had a longer flat rail across. Riders weren't even really grinding it, because you have to really play with risk reward when you're going on a long flat grind where you can fall off, but he was crank arm sliding the whole thing in practice, dialed. So I hope we maybe see that in his second run. I'm not calling him out again. The judges don't hear what we're saying up here. We have no impact. I just want to put that energy out there because I want to see that. I know you want to see that. And right now we're about to witness Stuart Chisholm coming out of Hastings, riding for the Source BSD. And damn good CBD just had a birthday, 23 years young. He's also a proud papa. And this is Chisholm, I believe, his second time here out in Tallinn. He got 12th place at his first simple in the finals. He's looking to do it again as he double pegs up with the tail whip out, James. Nice and clean.
Yeah, nice start to the run. Placed 12th last year. Hoping he can get back into the finals again this year. Oh, yes. Ice pick and then popping over on that hitching post. Yeah, bar spinning off the battleship as well. Really linking a creative line coming back through as well. Yes, come on, what a combo. Linking that up like we haven't seen. Final 5 seconds for Stuart. And there we go, the tail whip over the hip to finish things off. Sweet first run for Stuart. And then giving it the big guns to the camera. on the way past.
All right, Jam 10 fourth rider is going to be Alex Hyam, 28 years old from Australia. Came all the way here, but I want to give a special shout out to Hyam. He's actually riding not only injured, he cut his shin really bad a few weeks ago. He rode in some of our jams around town, but James, he's had horrible food poisoning. He's been up the last few days. He didn't even know if he could ride. So right now, everyone, channel your energy, cheer him on. He's been traveling around the UK since the Battle of Hastings, and he needs your support and your energy right now. Look at that popping out 540 flat spin on the battleship, and I'm so impressed that he's even on the bike. I mean, James, I was talking to him at 3 in the morning. He's coming out of both ends, the whole thing, and right now he is just on top of that hitching post with that foot jam.
Amazing. We love to see it.
Yes,
Love
270 table transfer.
Out the frame as well. That's when you know you've boosted, right? The cameraman wasn't expecting you to go there.
So Alex Hyam, such a talented rider. Oh, beautiful re-entry fakie. He's one of those riders down in Australia who is just the young kid who was ripping at a young age, pushing things forward, and now at 28, he's doing it for Vans, Colony BMX, Lux BMX, Skull Candy, and City Cave. But I'm going to go out on a limb, and I know all of our riders are going to agree with me on this. He's one of the most technical transition quarter pipe riders around. If there's a mini or a sub box, he can really dissect that with some wild, wild technical lip tricks.
Yeah, Yantek in the chat saying Hyam is an animal for real.
I agree with you, and the fact that he's riding, just my mind is blown. So Alex, big heart right now, and we're back to Parker Heath at the top of the board. X up. Whoa, okay, doing a nothing right there, taking all of his limbs off after that X up grind. Again, one hand X, going the distance to the bar spin. Oh man, dang, that was awesome.
Just getting slightly caught up on the bike on the way out. Still got a big smile on his face.
And what I was saying was awesome was not the crash, everybody. It was the creativity, the uniqueness that Parker is bringing. Big gap to double peg grind, bar spin transfer.
Left for Parker. Going pack
Come on, Parker.
Call in time on that second run as well.
That could potentially hurt the score right there, and I'll tell you why. And the judges never want to judge a rider against themselves, but when you know what a rider has, and Parker's sometimes a transition rider, even though we're seeing him crush some street combos, he has that ability to charge and usually will work the full time and full clock. But he had some creativity. He had those grinds no one else messed with, the gap to pegs, but he didn't get that full time in, so we'll see what happens with him.
Yeah, for sure. Santiago Laverde coming back in though, coming out of Colombia.
Well, he's 2 for 2 with that cap flying off his head. And the kink rider, again, put your energy out there. We want to see this crank arm. Bam! One-handed tabletop. There you go, Tabe Lords. That is going to be on the feed right there. Lane or over, just putting the hand out. Rodeo one-hand table. Great style. Same goes for that downside tail whip.
Delson in the chat saying, Santi, let's go. You are going to the finals. He's certainly going the right way about it.
There you go.
To make that happen. 20 seconds left on the clock for Santi in the qualifiers here at Simple Session 2023.
10 seconds, Santi. Tall side, far side.
So here we go. What is going to be the final thought? Big flare, backflip with the 180. Ooh, a nice nose press with the bar spin coming off after that feeble grind.
RKWD BMX saying he should win just for that one-handed table.
I got to agree, that thing was badass.
I hope there was a photographer under that.
Same.
You want the fisheye? Oh, just in the sky.
Handhelds, whatever you call them these days. We're taking the attention to Hastings, England's finest.
Okay, back in from the UK, coming out of Hastings. 23 years old. Like we were saying just before, 12th place at Simple Session 2022. hoping to improve on that, feeling inspired, I'm sure, by his good mate Joe Jarvis, having put himself into the top spot as it stands. Coming in for a second run, it's Stuart Chisholm.
Come on, Stu. Hastings is cheering on our boy Stu Chisholm. I know Tom Creasy and the Moore brothers are pumped at that bar spin 270 Smith stall. Chisholm right now, quick little foot jam, setting back up. Working those pillars, working the magic, and working that double peg to 180. Come on, Stu. Ice pick hopping over. Very clean right there. You saw he just found that magic spot and got the pop. Stu, as I mentioned, he is a father. That definitely helped fuel his riding. It's a cool thing to see a lot of our riders just getting combos done. Chisholm right there coming in reverse.
Just looking so dialed in on everything. Both runs have been amazing. And there we go. Finishing off on the hip. Stu's going to be stoked on that. Stu's going to be absolutely buzzing. Thanking the guys that have turned out in the crowds to watch and have a good time. And heading back over to the riders, there you see Joe Jarvis giving him love as well.
Second time here in Tallinn, Estonia. He'd love to have lightning strike twice and make the finals. But right now, if there was a rider who would get a Purple Heart, it's going to be Alex Hyam. As I said, he's got a huge cut on his leg. He's on antibiotics. He was sick with potential food poisoning. And the fact that he's on the bike right now, I give so much respect. You know, being a pro rider is just really showing up even when you don't feel like it. Big tail whip transfer. You can have all this pressure on you, and maybe you have to go out and film a video part, or you have to film a big gap or transfer, or how about ride at Simple Session and do big moves like that 360 fakie. So clean and getting it done when the pressure's on, James.
Taking it so big on that quarter as well. And look, taking it huge over that transfer as well. Such a popular transfer, but few going as big. Few going as big as Hyam out here today.
Come on, Alex. Let's keep it together. You got 15 seconds. Everyone collectively put your energy out as he bounces on the front wheel.
Just not quite round enough to bring that back into fakie.
All right, final thought. Come on, come on. Hitting that flare. He's got 5 seconds. Transfer pegs.
We'll call that final one a dismount. It was fine. That's not a fail. That was a dismount on the route.
Yeah, I got to tell you, though, I'm so impressed. As I said, I was talking to him. I didn't sleep last night because of the jet lag, but this guy was up the last couple nights. Couldn't even keep anything down. Felt sick. I mentioned he has a big, really deep shin, staples, the whole thing. Very impressed. But let's take some look at all the highlights right now from Jam 10.
So there we go, the highlights from jam number 10.
James, I have a feeling we're going to see it shaking up, and look at that. 3 riders popping into the top 5 spots.
There we go. We've got UK 1 and 2. And actually 3 UK guys in the top 4. Santi as well getting into 3rd. And do you know what? You were saying off air, I think Parker Heath's going to go top 5. Boom, into 5th. Alex Hyam into that top 15 as well, taking that 11th spot.
So impressed again with Alex Hyam. I can't believe that he's sitting in 11th. Again, if you saw the condition just moments before the contest, really impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's move into heat number 11. 4 more riders for you, and this time we're going to be seeing Johnny Rakis, Richard Hernandez, Murray Laubser, and Alex Kennedy. Alex Kennedy, simple session OG. I think having been at the contest since 2008, 2009.
All right, there we see Johnny Rakis riding for Fiend. I don't think the clock started.
No, I think he's just warming up, keeping those legs loose whilst we get people cleared off the park.
Big fan of Johnny. He's actually into martial arts. I was talking with him. He was riding at X Games this year, which was really cool. And they do sometimes a little bit of a rider interview or get a shot. And I saw up to the camera, he gave a few punches. He did a left and a right and a nice elbow. And I was like, he's too smooth and nasty with that. And I was talking with him, and he's like, yeah, I do martial arts with my brother. It's like, no way. So at one of the next contests, we're going to maybe do some sparring and some training. Oh, come on, Johnny.
Not the way you wanted to start.
That right there. Let's give him a mulligan and get back on the bike. I know they do that in golf where you get the reset. The clock's not going to do that, but hopefully he can restart the energy and not take a page out of your book.
Yeah, and he looks like he's doing absolutely sweet getting back on. Took that fall and he's just straight back in the game, carrying his run on where he would have been. Oh my words.
Wow.
Johnny Rakis.
That was one of the more difficult combinations that we've seen so far of the competition, with the precision and power coming together. Rakis has been on one. As I mentioned, he rode at the X Games in California earlier this year. He's doing it for Fiend, and he's just been ripping. Bar spin right there, doing that over tooth hanger coming down. And as I was saying, he is a martial arts practitioner, so at a future comp, maybe I'll bring my gear, he'll bring his. We'll do a little bit of Muay Thai training. Not a fight. I'm not calling him out publicly. I just want to be clear, but a little bit of training and have a good time. So
you heard it here first.
There is going to be a fight. You'll see. We'll sell tickets. We'll do it proper. I know a thing or two about promotion, and we'll build it up. But I love Johnny, and there's definitely not a fight. Right now, we're moving along though. Poor homie Rich, aka Rich Hernandez, doing it for Cult. I know that Robbie Morales is cheering him on right now. This is his first time at Simple Session, doing it for Eclaw and Vans as well. Look at this, going up, going off, 360.
Amazing, landed that so clean as well. Heading in for the whip.
Come on, head in the game, let's go. Let's go, baby. Back on that horse.
Katie's requesting a BMX influencer boxing match, please.
I want nothing to, maybe I'll be on the mic. I'll be on the mic for that one. I'll be on that mic. Well, let's just say hypothetically, who would you want to see in that boxing match? Let us know. We'll be calling it out. All right, 360
I'm pretty sure everyone wants you in there, Daryl. Just saying. Just saying.
I'll be on that mic. We'll stay on that side of the ropes. All right, double peg, hopping over.
Super narrow landing as well to hop into there.
Trying to grind on both sides, popping in, popping out.
Make some noise, please, and show some love and appreciation for Richard Hernandez.
Vertical burger, bar hanger, best move of the year. It was a very heavy move that Mr. Johnny Rakis threw down. He did have that crash at the beginning of his run. It's overall impression. Keep that in mind as we're witnessing our riders and working through. If you are just joining us, Simple Session 23 qualifying is going down. 54 riders. They're going to have 2 opportunities on the course, and they are going to get an overall impression. 15 will move to the finals, and right now our next rider has been on fire. I'm talking about Murray Laubser from South Africa. When I first arrived in Tallinn, I was asking who has been on it, and everyone said in practice Murray looked solid.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Murray coming in, doing it for Red Bull and Vans, his second Simple Session.
Look at that getting that back wheel, just hitting the upright, twisting around, this time with the 270 look back. Come on, didn't touch a foot down at all. Tire slide up top. Smith, nose press, bar spin. This is dialed right here. We are seeing South Africa represent. I know Jason McMillan is hyped. This has got 20 seconds, and I got to tell you, we don't have a trick counter up here, but moves like that back wheel bonk on the side of the quarter pipe, he's been packing in more frequency than most other riders, I got to say.
Yeah, for sure. Final tricks, 5 seconds on the clock for Murray. What's he got on the quarter? Yeah, nice, flaring it out. And that is going to be time.
Right.
Solid first run for Murray.
All right, I'm going to ask everyone in the comments, what do you think? Flat spin 5, a flare, somewhere in between? What are your thoughts? How would you call that last move that he went? I would say somewhere in between and call them both. But right now, what we are going to call is, as you mentioned, the OG Alex Kennedy. Coming from the UK, Cult Crew, Eclaw, Etnies. Nice sheer, organic health products, because you know this rider puts his mind and body in the right space to help push BMX Street forward for the last decade. This is AK Alex Kennedy on course.
Real UK legend.
Oh, yeah.
And like we say, Simple Session OG, he's been out for years.
See that hop, unbelievable.
And was actually, he took a little trip to Tartu with Mada Zaps, Red Bull skateboarder from Latvia, to go and kind of check out the city ahead of us being there for Simple Session in 2024. That was earlier this week, and you'll see some of that in the finals tomorrow. If you're joining us, we very much hope you are.
Yo, AK trying to bring a power move right there, looking for that haymaker to connect, going backwards with the crook coming up. Quick little nose bonk coming down.
10 seconds on the clock for AK. Yeah, double peg up. Oh my word, hopping over to double peg on the long driveway rail, and that is going to be time for AK.
All right, and that is time
for run number 1. Great start for AK.
All right, Harry said that sounds like fighting talk to him earlier. Got a lot of people calling out some boxing matches out here, but right now, AK, you mentioned the only street rider allowed to wear gloves, Vertical Burger. Well, he can do anything he wants, and we just witnessed AK on the course, definitely destroying it. Now, let's see if Rakis can keep up that consistency minus a couple of those crashes, specifically the way he first started. Again, he is riding for Fiend. Shout out Bob Pratt, Garrett Reynolds, also doing it for Odyssey Vans. Sweets Kendama, the chance to meet his parents at X Games. One-handed X-Up wild style. Look at this. Having a little bit of difficulty, but fighting traffic. 360 with the bar spin.
Getting caught out by the wall.
Come on.
Still plenty of time on the clock, though.
Come on, Johnny. All eyes on Rakis. Boom, there you go. That comments were calling one of the moves of the competition. That bar spin, getting the hands back on, hitting the peg with the back end, hanging over. Bar down, double hopping. Yeah, the table style. Shout out Pete Augustin, one of the OG street riders.
Oh, what?
Look at that, landing on the credit cards.
5 seconds left, I think.
And calling that time, I think.
One more time, thank you very much.
Solid showing, though. Hanging with the guys as Murray. Joe giving him some love.
Kilian Bruno, Joe Jarvis, even Murray.
Comments are going off. Brianna Hernandez calling up, saying step up there, champ. Let's go. Poor homie Rich will be next.
On the course, Richard Hernandez. Judges ready? Here we go.
Rich Hernandez coming back in. Oh, switching up on the down ledge, just having to put a foot down.
To regular Smith.
Trying to get that rhythm back going.
Ooh, big bar spin to flat. I know Robbie Morales, the Cult Crew captain, is psyched right now watching that fakey 180 out of the rail for Rich Hernandez, 23, Oak Hills, California. First time here at Simple Session. Gotta tell you, it's such a cool thing to see a rider's first time as well. Like, not only what we're witnessing here on the course, yes, but like, people are just blown away at how much action sports are embraced here.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, if you've never been to Estonia, you go around the city, and on almost every other bus stop, there's huge posters. You see Boyd Hilder's face plastered on it because he's returning champion. You see all the other riders. Reed Stark has been on there. So cool. And you just tell anyone, they're like, oh, you're here for Simple. Regular people on the streets. You go into the coffee shop, you go to get a beer at the store, a bar, everyone knows it because they grew up with it here.
Yeah.
The fans know BMX and skating through and through, and you don't get that in other parts of the world. It's so special.
Yeah, for sure. It's a really special place. I remember just turning up and being like you say, it's on like the bus stops and stuff. It's just like billboards and signs, and I was like, what is going on? Like, this isn't a thing. I've never been to a contest where it's like advertised in the streets like this, you know?
Yeah, riders and skaters trip out, and then especially even at the parties as well.
Yeah.
Because it's not just the riders that are there. You get a chance to hang out. If you're a fan, Maury having some difficulty, come on, buddy. But if you get a chance, you come here, you get to hang out with the riders and skaters. There's not a divide. Right? Maybe the riders are on course during the contest, but you're partying with everyone. You're dancing, you're making bonds, you're making friendships.
Yeah.
And that's the cool thing about BMX and skating, right? It's like those bonds. You just meet someone such a long time. I mean, we mentioned Van Homen earlier. I met him at a BMX race when we were 12 years old, right? And you just become friends. So that's what happens here at Simple Session. And that fact that Richard Hernandez first time, we're definitely seeing that. Maury Lobster right now, second time here at Simple Session.
Yeah, amazing.
Ooh, nice combo right there. Nose manual across the driveway, bar spin clean. Look at that, Ruben Alcantara-esque wall ride.
3, 2.
Final trick for Murray.
Speaking of Ruben Alcantara, I will name drop. He actually just left me a message, and I said, hey, Simple Session is on right now, and he goes, I'm gonna go tune in. So what's up, Ruben? You know, I'm the legend of BMX, and he was one of the first riders to do that wall ride with your nose pointing down. I'm gonna give a shout out to Brian Irochi, Long Island BMX legend, back at Long Island Bike Shop. Before Ruben did it, he was actually doing that style, but if your name is Ruben, you're a big guy and do it at X Games, it's gonna stick. So shout out to both riders. I know Ruben would actually not even care and go, it's all about riding, having fun. And right now, AK with the big 180 toboggan and going backwards, hitting the pegs on either side.
We've got Panzer in the chat saying we need the Club Hollywood live stream.
I got to agree with you, Anthony. I got to agree with you. Here we go. 360 from that ice pick. Double tire down.
30 second mark, 30 seconds.
Alex Kennedy on course. Yeah, nice. Just putting a foot down coming out of that. And slipping there too. Got that done in run number 1 though.
Anthony, we also need you here at Simple Session. I'm always a favorite to cheer you on when you're on course. Another Northeast guy cut his chops out at that green lawn at Northport Skate Park. Very cool to see what you're doing with the YouTube channel. If you haven't given Anthony Panza a follow, you can check him out. And Anthony, when I come back to New York, I know we've been talking about it for way too long. Let's get some sessions in this fall. But right now, let's look at all of the highlights. A lot of them came from Johnny Rakis as we move along here at Simple Session 23.
Well, there we go. Highlights of jam number 11. So many calls in the chat for Anthony Panzer to be out here, but Murray Laubser taking the top spot with a 73.33, just putting himself ahead of Joe Jarvis, Johnny Rakis as well, slowing himself into 4th place with a 66.16. He's got to feel confident that he's going to be in the finals tomorrow. And then in 11th, Alex Kennedy, 59.33, potentially at risk of dropping out, but we'll have to wait and see. Time will tell.
Time will tell indeed. Right now, qualifying heat 12 of 14 is about to start.
Yeah, that's right. And we've got 4 riders in this one. Once again, Harrison Akari, Killian Roth, Jordan Godwin, and Bruno Hoffman. This is going to be a heavy, heavy jam. It's heating up as we head towards the final of the qualifiers.
Very stacked heat indeed. Our first rider, I got to tell you, Harrison Akari, I'm so hyped he's here. He actually is from New Jersey. You've heard me mention before, I'm from New York, Northeast in the United States. A few weeks ago, I was talking with Ralph Sinisi, the owner of Animal Bikes, and he's like, got this rider who rips. His name's Harrison Akari. I've seen the videos. I know what you're talking about. Like, how do I get him at Simple Session? Like, he needs to be there. So I put Ralph in touch with Risto, who's the head organizer of Simple Session. And next thing you know, boom, he's here, and we're getting ready to announce his riding, which is sick. And I'm very excited to see this. So big shout out to Risto Calamre, Ralph Sinisi at Animal, and right now, New Jersey represent the Northeast in the house, as we've got Harrison Akari on course, first Simple Session ever. Take a look at the power. He's got bar spins that he can just throw where you don't even think it's possible, James.
Anthony Panzer very much agreeing as well in the chat, saying Harrison's a beast.
Seconds on the clock for you, my friend.
And Grove Street Bicycles calling him double bar god.
What's up, Grove Street? I know you guys got the stream in there. If you are in Jersey City at all, definitely go check out Grove Street. Bar spin off the double tire ride. Harrison's having a great time out here. Last weekend, he was in Barcelona at Barcelona Extreme. Made the finals. He wants to do that again. 15 riders are going to advance as he's trying to find his line and get some clearing thoughts out here. You hear Andy Zeiss, on-field MC, counted down, getting that nose press 270 over the hip. And look at that. Going to take this opportunity to also give a little shout out to Animal Bikes, East Coast love. If you haven't had a chance to check out what they've been cooking up lately, you can do so on their Instagram. You know them as one of the more core brands in BMX for street. Some legendary videos, great parts. And now Harrison Akari trying to make it here in the finals at Simple Session 23.
Golden Days as well, saying never heard of this guy. I need to look him up now. He's killing it.
Well, that's what's rad about Simple Session. It gives that platform for riders to really help make a name for themselves.
And right now, coming in for the first of his 2 runs in jam number 12, doing it for Vans. And coming out of Germany, we've got Killian Roth.
Riding for Cult, Eclat, People's Store, and Street Rippers Everywhere rode lap 2 weeks ago at Battle of Hastings at the Source Park in the UK, ripping it up in the rail competition, and he's showing you how comfortable he is on those handrails. Double tire ride going across that driveway and then getting that spin out. You know, James, it's so hard to get a rotation from the tire ride because you got it when you spin. Oh my God, you're like locked in there on those. But when you want to try to spin and rotate, you're going to use your head, your shoulders, and get that spin. But you can't do it, obviously, while you're, oh man, while you're riding in that straight line. And the fact that he's able to still get enough pop and just commit on that spin, Killian Roth really showing you his talents.
Yeah, absolutely smashing it. Here, the timer going there. RKWD BMX saying Killian's been underrated for so long. Well, hopefully he'll get put in front of a few more people today. Simple Session, solid first run. We'll see how the second shapes up for him very shortly indeed. Going to switch over now, though, to the guy who took 4th place at Simple Session 2022. He was the Nora Street Rider of the Year. 2023. It's Jordan Godwin. His bag was actually lost with mine on the flight out here, so I had to stash Jordan's bag in my room overnight, and then he rocked up to my hotel room first thing in the morning, like, please can I have my bike? I need to go ride.
Well,
of course you can.
Thankfully has his bike. Watch Jordan Godwin's feet. He rides left foot forward, but he's so technical that sometimes he'll switch his feet and go to a switch stance position. I know sometimes you hear riders call things regular or opposite. I always refer back to one of the OGs of BMX, Lucky, aka John Engelbert, the guy that Lucky grind is named after. He was a very technically advanced rider, and he would do things switch or opposite, and he'd always refer to that as far as his foot placement. Look at that, he switched his feet around, and you saw that he then had his right foot forward and then went on to that crank arm pedal slide, and now you're seeing it as he goes over. Just showing you the technical abilities, which again, our judges are gonna be calling all of that and really keep an eye. So left foot forward, boom.
There we go, Jordan Godwin making it happen on his first run out here at Simple Session 2023.
We the People, Eclat, Etnies, crucial BMX.
All right, we keep the party rolling in.
The fact that he got that Street Rider of the Year, Nora, is unbelievable.
Doing it for Eclat fans and Federal.
And now we move to a man who needs no introduction, really. Street Destroyer for many years. Coming out of Germany, it's Bruno Hoffmann. 1 minute on the clock. Yeah, taking that ice over to double peg.
Yes, Bruno.
John Byrne Sundberg says, I was just riding Lucky and Dave Mira BMX last night. So cool to see the legend of BMX, Lucky, being talked about all these years later. Always a big influence of mine. But right now, Bruno Hoffmann, the German technician, looking to put things together. Double tire ride coming back. So crazy to think Bruno is 30 now. And you might say, hey, that's not that old, that's not that young. I don't know what you think 30 is, but I'll tell you, Bruno grew up in the magazines. The first time we heard of Bruno, he was one of the young riders, potentially 12, 13 years old, and now he's 30 and he's just been focused on BMX. Just like he focused on that stall on the fence and then got the revert around. Red Bull, Federal, Vans, The Trip, Dub BMX, Eclat. And I know that Stu Dawkins and Colin are hyped right there. Germany in the house, Bruno Hoffmann getting things going.
Matthew and Ciro both saying in the chat as well that they're absolutely hyped to see Bruno out here. And really good to see, just it really captures what Simple Session's about, right? It's the crew, you're all hanging.
And I think everyone might be impressed too. Bruno's hat stayed on his head. All of our riders out there know Bruno would drop these mind-blowing edits and his hat would fly off on every single one of his tricks out there. So he got a little bit of a tighter fitting Red Bull beanie right there. But now Harrison on course, definitely hit both of his pegs on that upright, tossed the bars, kicking that tail whip around. Come on, Jersey, let's go, baby. Yeah, smooth on those whips. Gonna give a shout out to Meserol. That's my local shop out in Brooklyn. I know everybody's watching the feed right now. Got Andrew and the boys cheering on a Northeast BMX rider. Double peg up, bar spin. Trying to just do so many ticks and tacks coming down.
Really strong outing though for his Simple Session debut. Turning a lot of heads for sure. Some people we're seeing in the chat already well familiar with Harrison. Others, not having seen him yet, very excited about this guy.
Tossing the double bars, let's see. Come on, trying to make that final impression. And that's going to be time. All right, The Gravy Show saying, did we just shout out the live chat? Yes, indeed. If you are following us around the world, we are on so many different platforms and TV channels. But you can also check out the Simple Session YouTube page, where we've got 23 years of back catalog contests, events, contests behind the scenes. And we also have some people checking out that chat. We'll give you a shout. Right now, we're going back to Killian Roth on course.
Yeah, coming out of Germany, second time here at Simple Session. Calm and collected style. Placed 20th last year hoping that he can make it into that final 15. 15 going through if you are just joining us. And Killian's hoping he might make the cut with moves like that.
Double tire ride. This time went even further to the end of the rail with that 180 bar spin.
Oh, man. So tech.
I got to agree with you, Vertical Burger, in the chat. Yes, hitting your pegs on that upright of any rail definitely increases the difficulty. Double peg over. Killian now working it out.
5 seconds on the clock for Killian. Final trick coming in. Oh,
yes.
My words.
That's right. Van Holman is in the building because he was one of the first riders to put rail manuals on display, and Killian Roth showing his respect as he pushes things forward with that rail manual through the kink, across and down.
Let me tell you, Daryl, the chat is popping off. We've got lots of what, no way. Oh my God, holy words I can't repeat on air. People are loving that. That's going to be a big score for Killian.
Yeah, I definitely love that. Shout out to Grove Street Bicycles as well. Northeast Shop, another one out there. Right now, Jordan Godwin on course again. Watch his foot placement. Left foot forward, down whip, super steez right there. I know Tom Creasy is watching, cheering on Godwin as he tweaks that toboggan and twists the bars past 90. Godwin has been having a solid year as well. He actually rode out at the X Games in California. So very cool to see him out there putting his stuff on display. And right now, he is looking to be one of 15. Come on, Jordan.
Like we were saying just before, narrowly missed podium last year. I'm sure he'd really like that. Fierce competition, of course. Out here this year, we've seen some incredible runs already, but Jordan putting it together. 15 seconds on the clock for his second of 2 runs.
And that was clear that he went onto his crank arm right there.
5 seconds.
Yantek saying Godwin is too smooth. And that is time for him right there.
Also going to give a shout out to his clothing brand, Doomed. If you haven't had a chance to go pick up a t-shirt, it's an independent brand and company. They make a lot more than t-shirts, but he designs, doodles, draws, and puts it all together, pen to paper, and you can see some of the clothing and gear that Godwin makes. Doomed brand, shout out. Again, independent brands are the bread and butter for riders in BMX. And we have one rider of heat number 12 remaining. That is the German Bruno Hoffmann.
Yeah, taken to the course for his final run of the BMX qualifiers at Simple Session 2023. I mean, Bruno, he's been all over the place, really, hasn't he? He's been in all the contests, release parts, street rider, contest rider, does it all.
Yeah, I'd love to see Bruno in the finals right up on top of that podium. He's been competing for so long. Known for a lot of video parts, but he is no stranger at all to competition. Back in the day, he actually won our summer session that takes place in Helsinki. Right now, Bruno's got 10 seconds to go. Yes, 2 for 2 on that stall.
5 seconds.
5 seconds coming in for his final trick.
Ooh, all right, all right. Bonking that back tire, getting the rotation, coming around, getting it nasty in.
Nice. So, Ecstatic T, any big predictions for us? Let us know in the chat from Jam number 12 at Simple Session 2023. And we have still got 2 jams to come, but let's take a look at some of the highlights from that last heat.
from Bruno Hoffman.
Well, there we go. Highlights from Jam number 12. RKWD BMX saying, I actually have no idea how the judges judge these anymore. Everyone is so good. And that run showing that they are very much up to the standard. Killian Roth stepping up to 3rd place with a 72.5. Jordan Godwin slotting in 4th, and Bruno Hoffman in 6th. Stuart Chisholm staying in that 5th place.
And we are continuing the party.
It's a stacked lineup. Bora Altintas currently on the bubble, and we have 6 more riders to go. I feel like it's looking unlikely he's going to stay in. We've got Jackman Hinds, Casey Starlin, and Courage Adams.
You could not have 3 more different styles of riders, and that's what's so cool about Simple Session, where all different riding expressions are represented. It's really great, too, because I had a chance to talk with their 3 judges, Tom Sillins, Marcus Vilke, and Bart de Jong, who were saying, hey, this isn't necessarily a strict competition per se in terms of this being Olympic qualifier and overall points. This is about representing your style of riding. So we don't want to penalize you if you put a foot down and don't pull your trick. We want you to try. It's more about what you do rather than what you don't do. So if you do pull a couple of great tricks, obviously if you don't put a foot down and you are cleaner, you're going to score better. But they don't want, where some of the more strict competitions, you can lose 10 points if you put a foot down. So right now, Jackman starting things off, double bar spin, getting that nollie nose press to tail whip, doing it for Federal, Vans, BMX Mafia, and Dead Leisure. Second time here at Simple Session. Got 11th place last year. I'd love to see him in the finals again. I was going to say, what's up, Mom and Dad? He told me that you guys always cheer him on and watch all of the contests, which is so cool back down in Melbourne, Australia.
On a mission here, unlocking those.
So 30 seconds down, looking solid so far for Jackman.
Feeble 180.
That top 15 starting to look real competitive. Trying to see if there's a slot in there for him. 15 seconds left on the clock.
Also going to give a shout out to the Anchor BMX boys down there. Talking about Lou. Also Beachy, one of the more underrated Australian riders, but right now, throwing it up, final moment, final thought for Jackman.
Bar spin in, bar spin out like it's nothing for Jackman Hinds. Coming out of Melbourne. Just 3 riders in both of the final 2 heats. And we are going to head over to Austin for our next rider, doing it for Kink, Vans, Premium, Burnslow.
On the big screen.
We've got a bit of Casey Starling coming in.
Yeah, Casey is cut from another cloth. I like to think of Casey as, I mean, this is the best way possible. Almost a gymnast, almost a cat, because he's got cat. You'll see when he rides, he can flip and have awareness of his body and foot and how to land like no one else I've ever seen before. And you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. He's such a talented all-around rider. Big shout out to the Austin BMX fam, talking about Burnslow, Adam Roy, Devin Hutchins. Also got Santana, the 9th Street, James Shepard, all the homeless guys. Look at the ice pick grind going across the kink. Also give a big shout out to Empire BMX, Tom and Tina, who I know right now are watching this in the feed at the shop. Come on, Casey.
Trying to take that alley-oop, just coming a little bit unstuck there. First time out of Simple Session though, making his Simple Session debut. Heading back for this quarter here. Oh, man.
Come on, Tallinn, don't get quiet.
10 seconds left on the clock for Casey. See what he can get done in that time. Time for probably one more.
If you want to have it.
And that is going to be time. Rich saying this comp is fire every year. Rob saying, Casey, let's go.
And we are taking the attention.
Yeah, hoping he can put that down in run number 2.
Yeah, Casey, such a talented rider. I mean, he really has done some wild flips on transitions that no one has ever really done before, and he just has this body awareness about him where he's just this like world-class athlete, but BMX ride, he's got the total package. I love Casey.
For sure. But let's move into, I said Bruno Hoffman needed no introduction. Another guy that does not need me to introduce him at all, but I'm gonna. Courage Adams out here for the first of his 2 runs at Simple Session 2023. Got second place in BMX Street at Simple Session 2021 and third at Simple Session 2022.
He's been on that podium just looking outside. Nose press manual to bar spin. Courage has these crazy combinations that he'll link together on the front or back wheel. They are video game tricks, but we got to play with that risk versus reward. And sometimes if you try to link together a combination where you manual and it can take 10 or 15 seconds, James, you know if it doesn't go right or go your way, that's a big portion of your run, and it can very work against you. But if you're Courage Adams and you can make it happen, that's how you get on podium the last 2 years and going for a big, meaty bar spin gap to grind.
Absolutely going for broke there, full send, throwing the bars and just going for it, taking that gap to the second portion of the kinked rail, and that is time for Courage Adams, but he's going for this one anyway, taking the 180 out of that Manny, and then hopping over the rail as well, because he had to. It was right there in front of him. Why not?
Showing you the bike control right there. Absolutely. That would have taken anyone else out, but Courage, hopping over right there. The chat is on fire. Love seeing the George Hornig shout-outs. Much love for the Blacken comments right there as well. Again, that invitation is extended to all of you out here, regardless if you're going to ride in the contest or not. You could be here cheering on Courage Adams in person and getting hyped up. So 2024, we're going to be in Tartu. This is your invitation. Start planning now.
Wow. The crowd just absolutely erupted as well. We're in the commentary booth above the skate park, and we could hear the crowd loud and clear after Courage's run just then. But we are back to the top of the order for Heat 13. Jackman Hinds back in.
Yeah, Jackman really exploded onto the scene last year with his Federal Bikes video part, and then had a strong showing at Simple Session. Let's see if he can keep that momentum rolling in 23. Sometimes when you hear a rider and that's the first time you hear them on an international contest, it doesn't mean that they're new to riding by any means. Lifetime BMXer, putting the years in, the hard work, and then getting that opportunity here on the global platform at Simple Session. Walking the line on that manual, James trying to pop some kind of variation, but getting that tail whip to fakie clean.
Yeah, really, really strong second run for Jackman. Just 10 seconds left on the clock. I thought he was eyeing something up there, but he's calling time on it. Maybe he's going for it. Undecided. He's being encouraged. Cheeky to finish. Jackman Hinds making it happen. And we'll have to wait and see if that is enough to get him into the top 15, get him into finals tomorrow.
Whenever you are ready and feeling ready, this course may as well be yours for one.
And we're handing back over right now. Coming out of Austin,
Casey Starlin dropping in.
Casey Starlin in for his second run.
As we mentioned, he rides for Burn Slow. Yes, tail whip out. If you haven't had a chance to check Burn Slow out, do so now. You can see on their Instagram, they've got some really awesome designs, some forward thinking. They put on some jams. Adam Roy and company pushing the brand forward out of Austin, Texas. Here we go, over double peg, popping back over. James, it's so hard because your body weight, you can get locked into the rail, and sometimes you get stuck, but able to pop back out. Casey's showing you exactly what I mean, where he's got so much awareness of his body and his surroundings.
Yeah, pulling that tuck no-hander for fun on the way back through as well. 20 seconds left on the clock for him. Yeah, taking that over the driveway rail. That being super heavily sessioned, real popular feature.
10-second mark.
Smith up.
7 seconds left.
Final trick for Casey. Hustling to get back over. And just running out of time, but going for it. Coming off. Again, not quite able to make that happen, but maybe wise to switch up that second run, having kind of fallen on that a few times in the first, just to make sure, right, I'm going to get a load of tricks on the board because I have a few falls to my name at this point. So I just need to switch it up and make sure that I've got some good points from the judges. Good second run for Casey Starling.
All right, in the chat, what do you think? Nose manual, back wheel manual, or both are going to be favored in this run. Usually, Courage will put together one big combo. Although, James, I say that last year in 2022, he changed his approach, actually. 21, he did long lines. When we were in Saku Arena, he would do those long lines. And last year, we did see a different approach, so maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's see what Courage thinks and what he does.
Like you say, it's kind of risky. You are committing a lot of time to that long combo. If it doesn't work, you can be left with nothing.
Up, going up on the nose. Bar spin, okay, he didn't get it across, but he salvaged it right there and still threw that bar.
Oh, look at that.
Quick front wheel press, 360. Look at the power. Courage is definitely a world-class athlete. If you haven't given him a follow on Instagram, you can see how much he puts into his body and getting his mind right. His workouts are very impressive. All right, he's got 20 seconds. Wall ride.
Catches some speed.
Yes! Big gap with that bar spin to ice pick. Looked like he might have just cleared to that kink. Either way, I'm glad that he was able to keep that going.
Yeah, just about. Just about. Potentially just slightly clipping the top of that kink, but arguably harder to keep your balance if you do. It's kind of more impressive to be able to gap to that, especially when going to ice. And that right there, time for Courage Adams. The crowd absolutely loving him out here at Simple Session 2023. Wrapping up heat number 13 of our qualifiers for today.
Gotta laugh at RKWD BMX. You aren't really a real street rider unless you call your run 20 seconds early. Well, let's take a look at our riders who wound up calling it in our heat number 13. Here's some of the many highlights.
For today. It was a very long day.
So there we see the highlights from heat number 13. Jackman Hinds, Casey Starling, and Courage Adams. We have one more heat to go, and it is packed with heavy hitters, Daryl. It's going to be a big one.
It definitely is packed, and what is also packed are our three judges' brains trying to make sense of all the riding we've seen. Because if you're in Heat 1 or Heat 14, you got to figure out where those two runs kind of fit together, what their number is. You see Bart de Jong right there trying to make some sense of the numbers. Marcus Vilke in the middle, Tom Sillins closest to us on camera. And again, these three guys are lifetime riders. They live BMX, they're industry icons, they still ride all the time, and they're all involved in their own way. Tom Sillins, who's closest to us, runs Mindworks ramps, builds ramps all over Europe, beautiful skate parks. Marcus Vilke, who's in the middle right there, he is known as the medalist because he got the X Games silver medalist in 2000, and Bart de Jong, who helps run the UCI and runs the Fat BMX Network. But I gotta say, it's a big honor being in the booth right here with you, getting a chance to call all the action as the scores come in, and it looks like Courage Adams is gonna slip into that fourth spot with the 71.50. Jackman is gonna have the magic number of the 69.83. and then it looks like we're not going to see anything else get shaken up. But if you are Gaspar Gwendolen, Antonio Chavez, and I didn't see who was above, means all other riders, unless you're sitting in that 15th, 14th, and 13th spot, are going to be potentially in the finals unofficially. But right there, we got Matt Ray, Reed Stark, and your defending Simple Session 2022 champion, Boyd Hilder.
Yeah, and if you are outside, if you are in that kind of top 12, you're going to be feeling pretty good, because these guys are absolutely, they have every chance of getting into that top 15. So if you're in that top 12, you can finally breathe a sigh of relief. Like you say, 13th, 14th, 15th, you're on the bubble.
So Parker Heath is in that 12th spot. That means unofficially he's in the final. We have Canucks in 13, Chavez in 14th, and Gaspar Gwendolen, who is sitting there biting their nails, chomping at the bit, hoping that they're going to get in. But right now, Matt Ray doing it for Shadow Conspiracy, and Sabrosa Brand with a big red carpet entrance, popping that in. I had a chance to hang out with Ron Bonner in New York a few weeks ago. He was up there visiting. He's the owner of Shadow and also Sabrosa, and he was talking about Matt Ray and just what a powerful rider he is, recently a father, and he's another one of those guys who has been charged up by being a dad, and it's really inspired his riding, James.
Yeah, Lautaro in the chat asking how many go through to finals? 15. We are cutting a hefty number, 54 riders down to 15 for tomorrow's finals. And where today both runs have counted, that's been a real key feature. Tomorrow, best run counts.
So right there, you have that perspective of that hitching post as Matt Ray went over. You see just how tight it is to even jump that. He almost hit his front wheel and back wheel going on either side. Ray has 9 seconds to work with, super powerful rider. He actually placed second at Simple Session 2019, and we premiered his video, The Boston Massacre in 2020, shot by Andrew, aka Elevated Perspective. If you haven't had a chance to check that out yet, just type that in YouTube. Matt Ray, such a good video. It holds up to this day.
Yeah, second place at Simple Session 2019. Can he replicate that or better this year? Time will tell, we'll have to see. This guy though, everyone's favorite, come on. Coming out of Minneapolis, Reed Stark.
The long boy right now, you hear he's always a favorite because the energy gets gassed up. And look at that, we haven't seen any other rider utilize that gap to grind. Reed doing it for BSD. He's running his own signature safari frame, hitting that dark side on the ice pick. The long boy, look at the gap to Feeble all the way across and then getting it clean with the rail hop. Now James, look how his momentum is building as he is 30 seconds. He hit his back wheel up into that Smith grind. This is fast, original, and a lot of style. If he can keep this rolling, we saw he didn't pedal it, pumped up on the vert wall. We're seeing a phenomenal run for Reed Stark right now.
Yeah, he's no stranger to a Simple Session podium as well, but doesn't have a win to his name yet. So really hoping that, you know, he can make that happen, because I feel like everyone's willing him on. All of the riders he's up against want to see it happen at some point soon. Could it be this year?
Reed Stark getting a solid run right there. Ice pick across. The long boy.
I've just been told.
Look at this. I love it. I love it. The long one, Reed Stark right there. Solid run, originality. I mean, that had a lot of flavor right there. And it seemed like he still had some gas in the tank. All right, we are seeing a little flatland magic right there. We mentioned Matthias Dandois earlier, and it looks like Boyd Hilder, our defending champ, tapping into some of that energy. Let's see if Boyd brings some of that same flavor as he starts out with that nose press.
True all-terrain ripper, Boyd, and the transition elements of this park he's going to feel very at home on, but absolutely loves ripping up the streets as well. Look at that, over that Red Bull hip, taking the wall ride round, really carrying the speed through this course, linking up some really creative lines.
I love the way he lofted that can-can. It was the way that he got to it, too. And even that Smith grind, how he was able to land and then just cut right hard to wind up hitting that transition. So Nate Wessel did such a good job at this course, but he crammed so much in. We were talking about earlier, a rider could get lost out there because there's so much to do. But Boyd was able to just get his wheels down, and cut right quick. Doing it for Federal, Odyssey, Boost, Vans, Lux, S1 helmets, and Federal. Again, I'm going to mention, because we know that he is rocking it out as he over double pegs to the buzzer.
Time for Boyd Hilder in qualifiers. You mentioned he's our defending champion, starting as he means to go on. Can he take the title again this coming year? Finals, of course, getting underway tomorrow, wherever you are in the world. We hope you will join us.
So this course, as we mentioned, it's not a street contest. It's not necessarily a park contest. It's kind of ATV, all-terrain vehicle. Some riders are a little bit more focused on parks, some are street in their day-to-day. Boyd, when we used to split it when we were in the arena and do a street and park comp, he would be a park rider. Actually got third place podium in 2020 out there. And he brings that speed and energy to the contest. We're also seeing that from Matt Ray, who I think is going to do another drop in 270, and I'm going to give a shout out to Drew Bezanson, who is 5-time Simple Session champion. He's always a favorite out here. Drew, we're thinking of you. We miss you. We want you here hanging out with us. And Bezanson would always start his runs with some dramatic red carpet entrance like that. And you see Matt Ray saying, hey, if it worked for Drew Bezanson all those years, maybe it will work for me.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, getting it going. Great showing in his first run. And a great first half of his second run as well, taking that double peg through the first of the kinks of the down rail and then hopping out over. Yeah.
Yes, Matt. No-hander over the hitching post.
Oh man, the flare on the tiny quarter as well. That's such a small quarter too, having just come over that hitching post as well.
How is that even possible? But that's what we talk about, where riders can maybe tap into a little bit more of that transition. We know Matt Ray is a street rider through and through. He got a flat tire, but he did get some big moves throughout his run. Again, top 12 riders are kind of determined. Parker Heath was in 12th, and since we have 3 riders in this heat, that means that they might get potentially bumped out if our riders can make a good overall impression with their judges.
Over today's BMX qualifier.
Yeah, so unofficially, Maury Lobster, Joe Jarvis, Killian Roth, Courage Adams, Jordan Godwin, Jackman Hinn, Stuart Chisholm, Bruno Hoffman, Johnny Rakes, Santiago Laverde, Michael Dixon, and Parker Heath potentially in. Right now, we're looking at the long boy BSD rider. You see it written on top of his hat right there. Doing it originally from Minneapolis, now living down in New Orleans. BSD forever, Sweets, Kendama, Etnies, Roar Superfoods, Plants Basically, Parachute Papers. Just was out at Burning Man. And right now he is also a DJ who DJs here at Simple Session. This man does it all. Talking about Reed Stark.
Oh my God, a dark side ice pick on the
Absolutely attacking this course. I don't know if the tighter setup works well for Reed, because he is someone that just loves linking together elements of a park at fast pace.
Yo, the 180 put it in reverse, and you see that he's able to just bring the momentum back. You can see maybe his energy got a little bit zonked, but he did look solid. And I got to tell you, such solid runs so far. Even if he were maybe to potentially just pull the plug on his run, I still think he might be in there, because he really just has the pizzazz.
For sure. If you're Gaspar Gwendolan, sat in 15th place right now, you got to be feeling slightly worried. Antonio Chavez is ahead of him in 14th, and Chris Canucks in 13th. Those are the 3 that could potentially be bumped out of tomorrow's finals. Reed Stark looking pretty good to take one of those spots in the top 15. Against the love from Jordan Godwin. And we have one rider left to go to round out today's BMX qualifiers. Our defending champion.
Gonna give a shout out and a question. I see, do we have any BMX boarders in this chat? Right now, getting ready to cheer on our defending champ. Looking to qualify, Boyd Hilder. His face is plastered all over Estonia. He's on the poster for this year with good reason. The Federal Odyssey rider, big fast plan. I love that style right there. Bar spin, just lofting out. Getting that barrel roll pitted on that hip. Boyd just cruising.
Crushing it. Seeing if he can start as he means to go on with the first place qualification for tomorrow. Bar on, bar off of the sub-bucks.
Dare I say he's kind of taking it easy out there in quotes, and it's just because his demeanor is so relaxed, but he's doing big tricks like that bar spin into that Radio Bike Co. subwall, bar spin out, and that's kind of has a little bit of a divot on it. There's a little bit on it's the wall. It's not a flat wall, but there's a little bit of a concave pocket, and Boyd Hilder putting together another run.
Well, there we go. I think it's safe to say Boyd Hilder securing himself one of those top 15 spots unofficially. We'll have to wait to see the judges' scores, and Boyd Hilder rounding out our qualification. Here are some highlights of the final jam. So there we go, a heavy final heat of BMX qualifiers here at Simple Session 2023. Boyd Hilder rounding out our defending champion from last year. Is he going to do it again, Daryl, do you think?
I don't know. He looked good out there. He looked good out there again. It's only 15 riders are going to move on. 54 we started.
And here we go. Boyd Hilder taking that top spot. Murray Laudser in second, and Joe Jarvis hanging on to a top 3 qualification there. Those are your top 3 riders: Boyd, Murray, Joe, and yeah, Reed Stark making it happen, getting in the mix as well. Parker Heath, I mean, we talked about those bottom 3 of the top 15, if that makes sense, being on the bubble, potentially needing to worry. All 3 of those guys getting bumped out by Matt Ray, Reed Stark, and Boyd Hilder. But taking a look through now, this is the full list. Of course, only 15 of those guys going through to tomorrow.
So it looks like Hilder, Laudser, Jarvis, Roth, Stark, Ray, Adams, Godwin, Hines, Chisholm, Hoffman, Rakis, Laverde, Dixon, and Parker Heath are going to be your 15 riders that will wind up advancing. We are seeing all the placements here down to the 54th rider, and I want to give a big ups to every single rider, regardless of your place, for even being out here competing, showing up. because it's such a difficult competition. You have some of the world's best talent, the best riders, and there's so much nerves and energy because you were watching us around the world. But I do want to encourage you, please come join us next year.
Yeah, come and be with us. Come and hang. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. What a stacked top 15 as well, huh? Like, that is going to be a big final, so you do not want to be anywhere else. We know, of course, you're watching all over the world. We're so stoked that Simple Session goes to so many countries. You can watch wherever you are. We hope you'll join us. The time in Estonia that we're going to get going is 6 p.m, but wherever that is for you, make sure you've got it in your diaries. BMX qualification over. We will catch you for the Simple Session 23 BMX finals tomorrow. Myself and Daryl will be back with you. See you then.